Yes, good morning, people, or good afternoon, good evening. I offer whatever such a time zone, and I do so wholeheartedly. Fahim, good morning to you. How
Good
are you,
morning.
man?
I am doing
Yeah,
well.
it was a crazy night for me. I was editing a video and my computer crashed, so I was trying to fix it
Okay.
myself because it's something I could do,
Hmm,
but I
that's
had
fine.
to quickly get another hard drive and fix it, and in the process, I was exhausted. Long story, but that's by the way. How are you doing today, man? Did you enjoy the game yesterday?
Yeah, I enjoyed the game, man. Like, especially with the fact that the crowd was up for it. Even though
Yeah,
I did seem excited during the watch along, but I was excited watching Chelsea because we were playing
yeah.
good.
It was. You could say it was a good performance by the boys, and also a good performance from the crowd. Also, they were up for it, like you said. They were rolling. They were supporting the players from the beginning to the end. And again, the surprise that Lukaku was benched. I didn't expect that to happen. Most people also didn't expect that to happen. And I know you didn't either because you probably had him in your lineup, didn't you?
Yeah, in my predicted lineup, I had Lukaku starting, mainly because I didn't want him to start, but mainly because the fact that Tuchel is persistently starting Lukaku no matter what.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And
that's
we
why.
thought the argument was that he's become a liability and that Tuchel has been asked to always start him no matter what. And I feared that was the case, but we learned yesterday that he's got the guts. He dropped him, and
Mm.
it remains to be seen what you know the difference we saw yesterday. What that will be, you know. Yeah. So let's get into it right away. Let's talk about the performance overall. Do you think it was good all through? Because if you ask me during the first half, I thought we gave the ball away so much. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, me and Jay were having like this sort of discussion on the watch along yesterday about um, fans being a little bit annoyed that the fact that we were giving the ball away on Twitter, especially. Jay was bringing that up, and he was saying that, oh, if first of all, so there's some fans that just want us to keep the ball all the time and be slow, and then there's
Mm.
that, and they always complain that, oh, why are we not taking the riskier passes? Why are we not playing more direct? And then to do that, if you want to play riskier passes, if you want to be more direct, you're gonna have to lose the ball more often. That's the problem. But saying that, we
Well, I
looked a
do.
lot.
Yeah, that's what I do not agree with. You don't have to lose the ball more often because you want to keep the ball. How many times do you see Manchester City lose the ball in a game?
No, but Man City play a little bit different. They want to keep the ball all the time. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think they if you lose the ball, Pep will get extremely frustrated and angry who gave the ball away. But I think yesterday was more of the case that we wanted to play more sort of fluid, more direct, just go forward. And yeah, it did leave
Mm.
us a lot of spaces in midfield. It definitely did. But Lille were also like they were pressing us high from minute one. They were pressing us high, and I did say yesterday that um, it depends how Lille play that if whether Luke Kante and Kovacic will do well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now let's start by talking about. I think a lot of people during the I think the predicted lineup show and also the pregame show predicted 2-0, and I was saying 3-0. I knew we weren't going to concede, but we could have scored at least 4 goals. What do you think? Don't you?
well, yesterday,
Yeah, the game.
um, 4 goals. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely possible, but we were creating a lot more chances. That was a good thing. I was happy about more movement, more chances. Havertz had a lot, had a good game, had a brilliant game actually, not just a good. He had a brilliant game, but 4 goals. I think 2 goals is not a bad scoreline at home. We didn't concede. That was a good thing. Even though away goals is not there, we didn't concede. Clean sheet. We go into the second leg stronger.
Okay. I think we'll let this guys drive this the conversation a little bit while I'm trying to find what we use for the a lot to the player raters. She says, "Is Silva a robot?" That's a good question. because yesterday, during that game, it's easy to forget the work he put in, how well he did at the back for us, because the players at the front scored goals. They played very well. It was enjoyable to watch, even though they gave the ball away too many times to my liking. Um, how well do you think he did yesterday? Because he was solid at the back. He didn't. He ran like he was still 22. You
Mm.
wouldn't think that Silva, that he's 37 going to the 37. Is it 38 already, or he's still 37?
They're turning 38 this year.
Exactly. So the question, how well did you think he did yesterday?
Oh, he did really, really well. Like, to think that he's going to turn 38 this year, and the way he's keeping his body up to fit for almost every Chelsea game is absolutely amazing, to be honest. Like, he's one of my favorite players in the Chelsea squad. The fact that he seems so composed, even when even when we were conceding chances from Lille, like counterattacks, we were giving the ball away. He always was the one keeping the keeping the whole team composed, keeping everyone calm. And that's a very, very hard skill to get. Make sure you look composed with the ball, composed when you're defending. And to be honest, it's unbelievable how he's 38, because the way he's moving is like he's 28, 10 years younger.
I mean, I'm even making a video, what makes him special. But the question is, how is he? That's the most important question is, how is he able to do that? I mean, I think when I was asked that question before, I think maybe because he's learned the game so much, he's played the game so long that he doesn't even need pace to
Yeah,
cope with the younger players. Even when you think you're faster than him, before you make that move, he's at the place that is on the path to where you need to complete the move. So that is amazing to see, and it doesn't look like he's slowing down. Maybe by the time you know it, we'll be talking about offering him one more yay, and that's a possibility I'm seeing. So for him, let's talk about it. Even those in the chart, you let us know how did we do it? Because the truth is, yeah, Renato Sanchez, he did well.
mm.
Usually, it's hard to keep him quiet, but overall, I think we didn't allow them to play their game really. How would you say we did that yesterday?
Um, Look, I think it was quite. We didn't let Mendy do anything, to be honest. Mendy was quite quiet in that game. They weren't really taking that many shots against Mendy. So I think
Hmm.
that you have to give a lot of credit to the defense. Actually, the defense deserves massive credit. Even midfielder. Actually, you know what? The whole team deserves credit, because we attacked as a team, we defended as a team. We tried to, I even posted on Twitter like a video on we were on a corner, right?
Hmm.
Attacking their goal, and then Lille were on the counter attack, and you saw like everyone tracking back so quick, and I think the determination to just keep on keeping clean sheets and to defend is just was there yesterday. So you have to give credit to the whole team as well, like everyone
Okay, let
defending
the people
together.
in the chat also let us know. I was going to ask you this question. To me, I thought maybe the intensity was the reason why we had I think two players got injured during the game. Don't you think that's the case? We played, we haven't played like this in a while,
Mm.
except in the Champions League final. We played with this intensity. I think for a while I haven't seen a game where Chelsea players played with that much intensity. That I'm thinking that's probably why these players. I mean, they were stretched to a
Yeah.
measure they haven't gone to before. So that probably led to two unfortunate injuries. I don't know the extent at this point. What do you think? Don't you think that's the case? And the people in the chat, let us know if the intensity was the reason why Kovacic got injured. What's his name also? Hakim, right? Ziyech, he got injured
Mm.
too. I don't know how serious the injuries are, but you let us know. Do you think the intensity is the reason why they got
Ye-
injured?
Yeah, I do think that's the case, because we were having games almost every 3 days. We just came back from Abu Dhabi, so I think the players that obviously needed a bit of a rest. I mean, the intensity, yeah. The only time I remember we playing like this was against Liverpool at home, where it was very, very end to end. Like Liverpool attacking, then we defend, and then we were attacking, and they had to defend. It was just up and down, up and down, up and down. And I think yesterday we were pressing a lot better when without Lukaku. It looked like everyone was up for a press. I think that's why. I think that's why the intensity got higher during the game yesterday, because we pressed a lot aggressively yesterday. So yeah, the injuries is not good. It's just not good at all. I just wished it never happened on Ziyech, man. The
But
Ziyech
we did.
injury.
Yeah, it's not good news, but still, the players that that replaced the two injured players, they weren't bad. Ruben Loftus-Cheek looked like he's not been out of the team actually. He slotted in seamlessly. He played very well. Surprisingly to me, I thought he was going to be a bit rusty, but he wasn't. And then I started asking the question, shouldn't this guy be starting over Jorginho? Because the truth is, he can play out of a tight space, just like I think you could argue that he's a mashup of Jorginho and what's his name? Ruben Loftus-Cheek is the mashup of Jorginho and Kovacic, because he can do both. He can beat the press effectively, and it's even more physical than Kovacic, than Jorginho. So that begs the question: shouldn't he be starting over Jorginho if he's fit? And why are some people in the fan base talking about selling him?
I think Loftus-Cheek is playing a different role. It was playing a little bit of a different role, and Tuchel's been using him more as a DM rather than the numbers. Those instead of like a Kovacic role or Kante role where they just go forward. He stayed more back. But I think that suits him. I'm not going to lie, because he's got the height, he's got the physicality. The one thing I do worry about Loftus-Cheek is mainly his decision making sometimes, and his awareness when it comes to defending. When it comes to defending, I don't know if he's got that ability like Jorginho to anticipate or intercept a pass or anything like that. But with Loftus-Cheek, I can understand why the fan base want to get rid of him, mainly because they want to move forward. They just want someone else that could probably play the DM role properly. But I think he's a good squad player for us. I don't think he's a starter. I think he's a good squad player because
come on, Fahim, don't say that. Please, if you're in the chat, let us know whether you think Ruben Loftus-Cheek is a starter or not. Honestly, I wouldn't say I'm happy Kovacic got injured, but if we have him fit, if we have Kovacic fit, then you can say we have two starters. And he can also play alongside Kovacic too. He's that good. Oh, for him, be fair. Why would you say Ruben Loftus-Cheek is not a starter? He's a squad player.
Define starter. Like, you started week in, week out, or sort of thing, or
if he's fit, and if he's shown in training that did he put a foot wrong in that game?
No, but
he did not. No, I'd say I enjoyed the game more when he's there, and he defended very well too. That guy. Let's forget about his size. He's quick.
Yeah.
He's quick, and he can defend very well. That's one. Did you see? You saw it yourself yesterday when he was the person that saved us because we were facing.
Do you think? Yes. Do you not think he's better suited as a number 8 than a DM?
I would put him. I would play him as a number 8 rather than in a deeper position. I'm serious about that. But the truth is, my argument with you is that he's a starter. He's not. He's not. I mean, he's not a squad player like you did put it. And before we continue, I'd like to say thank you to everyone in the chat, and thank you for your patience. Thank you for still joining, even though we started about 35 minutes late due to technical issues. Even in the process, I became very exhausted, but I've dedicated to hosting the show every morning. Although it's already afternoon in the UK, but we carry on. Our show must go on. So thank you, Street Bear, Queen of all streams. Thank you, Mikhail. Thank you, Nick Blue. Thank you, TC. Thank you for seeing you here. TC, it looks like this is your first time on participating in the Chelsea Perspective show. If that's the case, please don't forget to subscribe to help the channel grow. we're nearing 1,000 subscribers, and we hope to achieve that by the end of the month. Thank you also, Mikhail said that. Thank you, Stav, my friend and my enemy when he's on the panel. Tobago, my brother, welcome. Helgi, you are welcome. And let's get on with the show. If I see anybody here I haven't named, I would do so. But thank you. You provide great value to the chat. So go ahead. You were saying something about Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Okay, Loftus-Cheek, under Sarri, he was one of my favorite players in that Chelsea team. 100%. One of my favorite midfielders under Sarri. And then when he got that injury, it really did break my heart, to be honest, because he was absolutely unbelievable that season under Sarri. And I thought, you know what? When he comes back, he will definitely become our main centre mid in the future. I do think he's better than Mount, in my opinion. I think he's technically a lot better than Mount because the way he dribbles and glides and his physicality is, in my opinion, is a lot better. But Mount obviously has got more consistency. He's got more about him than Loftus-Cheek. I just think with Loftus-Cheek, his intensity, I don't know if it's there. I don't know. I do worry.
There.
I do worry.
It is there. I'm thinking now. You came to this show today with a fight.
No, it's no fight. I love Loftus-Cheek. I trust me. He's one of my favorite midfielders. On his day, he's definitely one of my favorite midfielders.
To me, he's one of my favorite midfielder. To me, he is one of the most technically gifted in the current squad, and the most technically gifted player to have ever come through the Chelsea Academy.
100%.
Tell me another player who's better than him technically in the Chelsea Academy.
Not many. Even he's better than Callum Hudson-Odoi in terms of technicality as well.
Technically, yeah. And again, if you look at him, he has the best qualities of Mikel Obi. Silkiness.
Yeah.
He has that dribble skill of Eden Hazard. He close control.
He reminds me of.
He's a mashup of almost the best players we've seen at the club. He has the build of Didier Drogba if he wants to be all physical. So that my fight with you right now is that you said he's not a starter. I don't take that.
I look, Coach. I would love if Loftus-Cheek was able to be a starter, but I'm being realistic as well. I don't. He's coming to an age, right? Do you really expect him to live up to Chelsea's expectation and level? I don't know. Consistently as well. That's the one thing.
He can. If he's fit, he can. So are you saying you want the club to sell him? Because I know Frank Lampard would tempt Chelsea with money because he understands his capabilities.
No. I don't want him to be gone like that. I just think as a squad player, he's a good squad player, very very good squad player. Like it doesn't have to. I'm not saying that he cannot start games. I'm just saying like here and there appearances like that. I don't think he's a bang on starter for Chelsea in my opinion. Not just
you're
yet.
still
Maybe
calling
in
him
future.
a squad player.
Maybe in future, but not now. My only worry
in future when he's 45.
Bro, no, Coach. Yeah, look, I just think his consistency is not there yet. I feel like he needs to take his time.
Okay,
as well.
I get you. Let me leave you be because if we continue this fight, it's one I can assure you're not going to win. Let's talk about Christian Pulisic, his performance yesterday. What do you think?
But Pulisic was actually good. I was actually happy about his performance yesterday. Him and Kai were linking up well. He was moving from left to right, not just staying on the left. He was also on the right as well, in the center. And I think he needs to play more in that position rather than playing wing back and then the center of a three. He should be playing more as a wide player rather than any other positions. And that's how you could get consistency out of these players if you consistently play them in their best position. And yesterday proved it. It was his best position. Performed and he scored. So
I think that brings to mind what staff said during the pregame show. As long as they have the freedom to operate as they wish, that he's nothing against the system. His issue will be if they're asked to just keep staying within this middle section, and then Hakim Ziyech will find it very difficult to operate. But he was allowed to drift both. Players were allowed to drift wide as they wish, and it was so. I mean, it was delicious to see them operate. Christian Pulisic actually he created a chance for Kai Havertz, but Kai, the keeper, you know,
Yeah.
Nick, I think he punched it to a cut. We got a kind of kick from there. So they were all brilliant on the day from the first guy, the guy between the sticks, to the number 9 man. It was a very, very good performance. And Pulisic looked rebound yesterday. I think I haven't seen him under Frank Lampard. He scored goals, but I haven't seen him play as good as he played yesterday. In terms of, you can see that he was enjoying himself.
Yeah.
You can see that he wanted to be there. It wasn't like when he played on the as a right wing back, man, and then you can see frustration on his face, most especially when he's taxed with tracking opposition defender. He looks like, you see him looking like, why am I even on this pitch? I'm glad that wasn't the case yesterday. I mean, you could say our strategy or tactic was, was executed to a T. It was a brilliant performance. And what do you think about Kante yesterday? He was literally everywhere. As the saying goes, Kante is everywhere. I mean, he gave the ball away on occasions, but I mean, he did so much good that you would look away from the times he gave away the ball. So what do you think? Or misplaced passes, let me just put it that way.
I mentioned Kante got man of the match. I think he got.
Yeah, he got it. Yeah.
So
he was brilliant overall. Yeah,
he was really, really good. I mentioned it in my review that the front three were moving constantly, making runs, which was leaving space in midfield for Kovacic and Kante to drive through. And you saw that with that Pulisic goal. Kante picked up the ball from Thiago Silva and then drove past the Lille midfielders and then gone straight to attack and then passed the ball to Pulisic, and Pulisic scored from that. And then he was doing that constantly yesterday as well. So I think Kante was brilliant. Like, it's always the Champions League game. He always performs in the Champions League games. It's actually amazing to see, and it shows that he still has the quality. It's just making sure that he doesn't get injuries. And yeah, Kante was brilliant.
I just want to explain something to our Showtime. The Blue Money Show is a 2-man show, a 2-panel show. It's every day, and I think I'll get your slot next week. The whole week there's no space this week. I'll plug you in for weekends or whatever time that works for you, so you can come on and I have some important topic that I think you and I can go through, and it will be good for the audience. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying that Kante, I think he kind of proved me wrong yesterday. I thought he wasn't going to become that sort of, I don't know, what's the word, like that player like yesterday. I thought he was going to be more of the defensive side, but he also contributed in the attack as well, and he had contributed well as well. So he proved me wrong. I thought Jorginho was going to start ahead of him. I thought it was going to be Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante, Kovacic. I thought I was a bit worried what was going to happen, but actually, you know what? It worked out well in the end. It worked out really well.
Here's the thing. I think I wasn't concerned about how Kante will perform, but to be honest, I didn't expect him to perform as good as he did yesterday. My thought was that Thomas Tuchel will drop him to the bench and have him be well rested and be ready to face Liverpool, which I think will be a game that is a high octane game with even much more intensity than the game against Lille. My concern wasn't that he wasn't going to perform. It was just, I think he should rest and prepare for that final. But he was brilliant. And something that I must highlight in his performance was that he gave the final pass to Christian Pulisic before he scored, right? Look at what's special about that pass. That's what intelligent players do. He got the pass, and the Lille defenders or that is the players that were there to stop him were running back. Some players will in a hurry give Christian Pulisic the ball farther away from the Lille box, and then the defenders will get a chance to run back and defend. but he held on to the ball. He saw Christian Pulisic making the move, but he had to wait to give it to Christian Pulisic at the point where before the Lille defenders could do anything, Pulisic would be one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and that was exactly what happened. And it was brilliant thinking. And another person that passes the ball like that is Ruben Loftus-Cheek. If you watch him in the final third, before he passes the ball to anybody there, he waits. That is for a time where if he gives the ball to that runner or whoever creates the space, the defenders will find it difficult to stop them, because the only thing the person has to do will be face the goalkeeper and then find the back of the net. So that's to me is in-game intelligence at its peak, and he executed it very well. I love that. Yes, Tobago, thank you for reminding people to hit the like button. And Tobago, I appreciate you always being here to support the channel, and I've made you a mod because I know you're my brother and you're here to stay. So now let's move on. But about the injuries, maybe it applies for cover, but I say Ziyech colliding. Ziyech there was no collision when Ziyech fell. The ball went out for a throw-in, and then he fell. I think, Helgi, you need to look at it again. And if you're in the chat, please let us know if that wasn't the case. I think Ziyech was a no-contact injury for me, because nobody touched him. He was on his own. He was covering the passing lane, and then the ball went out for a throw-in, and then next he was holding his ankle or something like that. I'm not sure what happened there. So I still think the intensity is the reason Cover got injured. I'm not sure about that. Maybe that's the case for Ziyech. I'm not really sure, but that's
I think because
Kovacic
was coming back from injury, and I think he's played a lot of football just coming back from injury. He played like 120 minutes against Plymouth and then in the Club World Cup as well. I think it's got up back, like he's just getting injuries coming back from those games.
Yeah, Tobago, can I ask, how did Alonso play? Yeah, good question. I'll let you start. I'll let you start. You go ahead. Go for it, Jay. Go for it.
Nah, this guy, I just don't. You know what? You know what's crazy is that Jay mentioned it. Aspi and Kante and Alonso, if they win the Carabao Cup. No. Aspi's won almost every club trophy out there. It's just Kante and Alonso. If they win the Carabao Cup, they've pretty much completed club football at Chelsea. And you know what's crazy? How is Alonso always almost shithousing everything? He's always like this clutch player that comes up with a goal and puts on that bad performance. And then yesterday, oh my days, I couldn't bear to stand Alonso, man. Seriously, I don't know what to do now. Seriously, Alonso wasn't good. He wasn't that good. The only thing I would give Alonso praise is that he was more attacking and he was contributing somewhat in the attack, but his decision making is not good. His decision making is not there at all. It's awful.
And I would say, to his defense, it wasn't one of his worst games.
Yeah, it wasn't his worst, but it's just we always see him lose the ball too often. That's my problem. So there's an easy pass to make, but he just continues running with the ball and then loses it. That's my only problem.
But you could argue he did more good yesterday than wrong.
I think
he could have had 2 goals.
He could have. That's why I said, like, attacking wise, he wasn't as bad. But when it comes to like decision making and sometimes defending, it's a disaster sometimes.
Here's again, to his defense, if you ask me, I'd say whenever he's on the pitch, I don't think that his primary responsibility these days is to defend. It's because his ability is to score goals, because he can shoot. He has a very good, sweet left foot that some attackers will be very jealous of or proud to have. But I still say, honestly, I would argue that every day, I think, and he has some good crosses in him too. That's just the truth. It's just that maybe the crosses, you could argue, our attackers have not been getting at the other side of the crosses, whether on the carpet or. But he found Ziyech the other day, and I think he had a few in the box. He did cross a few into the box yesterday.
He did, yeah.
But
It wasn't his
by
awful.
the
It
way,
wasn't. It wasn't the worst game. It was just we always see this sort of Alonso every single game. Whenever he starts, sometimes he just loses the ball, and the fan base do get really angry because he always does the same thing over and over again.
it's
And
easy to scapegoat him. It's
yeah, it's
easy.
easy. It wasn't his worst game. I would give.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't his worst game.
If we had lost that game, I think a lot of people will be saying some nonsense about him right now. So, but let's move on. Let's digress a little bit. The Queen said something. We need the third Champions League match. United always annoying them having three, and she laughed after saying that. Do you think it's a possibility?
It is definitely possible. I think Tuchel, from what I've known, I think we are a cup team. Tuchel has brought us to almost every final that he's brought us to, like the Carabao Cup final, FA Cup final, Champions League final. Who says
Okay, can I refresh it a little bit?
Okay, go on.
We are Champions League specialists under Thomas Tuchel. I'd say that.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Because even what's his name? Even staff who hates the three at the back system loves the three at the back system in the Champions League because he believes he will get his results, and he believes his only concern is don't just ask the two number 8s or two number 10s to stay centrally, give them freedom to roam. But go ahead. Yeah. So I think, but again, my question was, do you think we're going to win it this year?
It's very hard. I don't know if there's like a clear favorite to win this Champions League this season. People say Man City, but we always say Man City are clear favorites every year. And they sometimes last season they were clear favorites. They didn't win it. Is it this year? I don't know. I don't really know. There's no standout clear favorites for the Champions League this year, in my opinion.
No, there's none. And here's why I think we'll win it. I hope people in the chat forgive me. I'm going to say something here, and don't think I'm pessimistic here. If you remember, I think I said this, the Blue Lounge. I was saying it consistently that we're going to win the Champions League. And I think the exact phrase I used in some of the groups, Twitter groups that I was part of was calm down. We will win the Champions League. Even after Leicester beat us before the Champions League final, after that performance, you can see the majority of the Chelsea fan base were going, Manchester City are going to mop the floor with us. Oh, they're going to kill it. I remember saying, we are going to win the Champions League. Calm down. Here's the thing, why I said that. Now, we're not doing well in the league.
No, I wouldn't say we're not. I wouldn't say we're not.
We're not really doing well. We're not where we should be. How about that? Do you prefer that in the league?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, we're not where we should be in the league.
We're third at the moment. I mean, I don't think that's not bad.
Still no. For Chelsea, that's still not good enough.
Yeah.
Come on, Fahim. Do you agree we're not where we should be?
I feel like the gap is not good enough.
We didn't win games we should win, and how we won the games we should win. We should be points ahead of Manchester City. The problem for us is that we drew a lot of games, and some of those games we lost. We saw what happened, and it's down to the COVID situation, the outbreak we had at the club. Too many injuries, because I cannot blame the manager or the players. It wouldn't make sense to start blaming them, which it would mean I'm not paying attention as a content creator. I never blamed the players. I do my research as I read the situation, saying this is not down to the players. They were overstretched. We played more games than most teams did then, and then we had more injury situations, and then we had more people out with COVID, and yet the FA refused to postpone our game like they did for some people. Let me just put it this way, but that's not the case for having fever. In a single player team, they did to postpone their game, but they refused to postpone our game. Tuchel was furious. Czech was furious. We, the fans, saw that then, and that's probably when people started to realize, this actually isn't the manager's fault, and neither was it the players' fault. But that's, by the way, my point is, it just seems as if whenever we don't do well in the league, the players they focus on in the Champions League. 2012, the same thing. Last year, the same thing. We weren't perfect we weren't actually doing well in the league. Nearly we
Tottenham,
it was just
Tottenham
we were
saved
just
us.
yeah, exactly. We
Saved.
barely made it into the top four.
Yeah.
So I think the same thing. I think we've seen it. We did better in the Champions League. That's one of the best games the team have played this year, except the game against Norwich, which was even more delicious. I like to use the term delicious if I enjoy games. Yeah. They did well. It was a professional performance, you could argue, from that perspective. So I think we will win the Champions League again this year. I hope it happens. And which means there's a chance for us to win it if Liverpool beats us on Sunday. There will be even more pressure to win the Champions League. And for me, I prefer that to happen rather than to win that one and say, okay, we have...
100%. Yeah. 100%.
I'm not being pessimistic here.
No, 100%. If we were to lose against Liverpool this weekend and go on to win the Champions League, that's miles better than just winning the Carabao Cup and lose the Champions League. That's obvious.
Exactly. Yeah, great point. So if you're in the chat, please, if you haven't, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. In a bit, we'll be doing the rating for the players from that is given how they performed yesterday. So let's keep seeing. Let's let the people in the chat still drive the conversation. And after a long time, we can say we enjoyed a game for how we played, not just getting a result. Yeah, that's a great point. And I discussed this with my friend and brother, Christian, who I would have loved to be one of the guests on the Blue Morning Show, but he's a very, very busy guy. Before the game, I told him it will be different in the Champions League. It's not a hunch. It's just because the way I don't know if it is the atmosphere. I don't know if it is the players. I mean, they hit a different level of motivation. If you're in the chat, tell us why you think we did better in the Champions League than we've done in the league. Your turn. Let us know why that is. So, what do you think, Fahim? Why is it different?
Well, you mean like in the Champions League?
Yeah, we seem to play better in the Champions League than in the league. The same thing in the system that even Stav agrees with it, that seemed to falter when we deploy it in the league. We executed to a T in the Champions League. The same thing last year, the same thing this year or this season. What do you think? Why that is?
Well, it's with that's why I said like we are a cup team rather than a Man City where they just like to win league titles every year. I think it's also a mentality thing as well, where they seem to be more up for a Champions League game, and they think that's more important than a league game, because let's be honest, like maybe the fans are more excited about a Champions League game than a league game. Especially Champions League nights, they usually are very, very loud. But for me, I think it's a mentality thing. It's a mentality thing. I don't think these players are at that level of being consistent week in, week out, and they just perform in the Champions League games instead.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like the Charity FC phenomenon. It doesn't look like it applies when we play in the Champions League. Had it been in the league, I'd argue, because you saw me arguing yesterday when people were saying we're going to beat them 3-0, 2-0, or 4-0 or something like that. I was concerned because to me, I've always argued Charity FC has become a phenomenon that needs to be studied. But the truth is, really, it is a mentality issue. It is that is a lack of experience from the players. They're not experienced enough to always take games seriously, respect every opponent, put in 100%, and not see it any game like you've won it already. I think that's the issue that's defined Charity FC. I mean, it's not actually. It's a problem that as the players, as they gain more experience, they learn to play at the same level in every game, and no game is done until the man in the middle blows the final whistle. Nick Blue says better performance. Pulisic, Havertz, Ziyech has to be top three, and Lukaku has to prove himself now. Okay, now we have to talk about Romelu Lukaku. Unfortunately, it's a two-man show. I'd have loved to have Showtime on the panel. Maybe we'll do that later in the show. Now, Lukaku was dropped. We've talked about he was dropped, and to you, it was a surprise. To me, honestly, it was a surprise. Some people talked about, even Staff did say maybe he needs to be dropped. But Staff said something about having a player like Broja back in the team. So when he's dropped, I don't remember who said, then if Broja starts game and scores 2-3 goals, and then he'd be pushed to, whether he's down mentally, he'd be pushed to recover and start firing on all cylinders. Okay, his absence, he wasn't there, and our attack looked better. And I've argued that. A lot of people have also argued that. And they say numbers don't lie. We've created more chances in his absence. And it happened again yesterday. Yeah. So what happens now?
It's a huge problem to have, for especially for Tuchel, like having £100 million striker on your bench. It builds up a lot of pressure, and it is facts that we create a lot more chances without Lukaku in the team. If we're playing like that front three, Havertz, Ziyech, Pulisic, we create a lot more chances.
And I'll let you continue. And please let me make this clear. We're not talking about whether Lukaku is a bad player or whether Lukaku is a good player. Yeah, we between when he's on the pitch for us and when he's not on the pitch for us, we have to talk about it. We have to be objective. So go ahead.
Yeah, so it's a huge problem for Thomas Tuchel to decide whether to change stuff for Lukaku or stick to the thing that he knows, and it worked last season because it won us the Champions League. It's the fact that Havertz and Werner, Pulisic, Ziyech last season were doing the same thing last season. But even though we were creating missing a lot of chances, we created a lot more. And that brings me to question that the reason we create a lot more is because the movement from these attackers is a lot more different than Lukaku's one. Lukaku's movement is completely different. He's a number 9, only a number 9. He's just a striker. He cannot play on the right. He cannot play on the left. And you saw yesterday, Havertz was more on the right as well. And then you saw Pulisic also on the right. So these players, like you said, they have freedom to move around. Whereas Lukaku is just one guy. You have to feed Lukaku only to him. That's it. And that's how you get the best out of him. And to be honest, I don't know what happens later on in the future with Lukaku, but it is what it is.
The truth is, whether you like it or not, nothing happens. He stays at the club, except
that's
we have
thing.
him. Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. He's here, and we have to find a solution. The fact is, now Lukaku, to me, makes it very predictable.
Yeah, that exactly. Yeah, very predictable. Yeah,
and to be objective, I'm going to say it. He's not an all-round striker. He's not, and that doesn't mean he's not. He's a bad player before Showtime finds me and deals with me. The truth is, again, I've said this like a million times. Whenever Lukaku is on the pitch, whether subconsciously or intentionally, all the players on the pitch, from the midfield, from the 2-6s, from the number 8, from those the right wing back man and the left wing back man, it just seems as if the primary responsibility is to find Lukaku on the pitch. And Lukaku himself, whether it's a number 8 with the ball or those on the flanks with the ball, whenever they have it, he's always pointing where he wants it. That's not an issue for me. Just to show you what's going on. It just seems the focus becomes Lukaku. Even us, the fans that are watching the games, the focus becomes Lukaku, even to an annoying extent, we forgot that there are other players on the pitch. So I think that just makes it clear that he creates more problems for us than he can solve. I think that's a huge issue here. I'm not sure what's going to happen.
The one thing I'm still confused about is that Tuchel agreed for Lukaku to join Chelsea, and I don't know if you saw Thierry Henry's quote about his concerns joining Chelsea from the very start. Does he really suit our system? And Thierry Henry obviously was a little bit concerned whether he will fit in like easily, and I just don't understand how Tuchel agreed for Lukaku to join, because he needs to be the main man. Lukaku has to be the main scorer, the main man. You have to feed him the ball. You have to give him the chances. And like you said before, it can become very predictable. Teams can literally see that and then just nullify Lukaku, and then you won't be able to score. And
again, if you can allow me to digress a little bit, again, let's talk about the argument. One of the pundits on Sky Sports arguing that if we paid that much money for a player, then we should build the team around him. That's still, you know what? Let me just shut it and move on, because that's going to take us 10 minutes to conclude that argument. That's a topic for another day. And Nick Blue, thank you for that great input there. I think it led to a great conversation. And soon we will be rating the players. Tobago, it's a closed panel, yes. And if you need a slot next week, this whole week is filled. Tomorrow it's I and a star with a fight. And Saturday, I'm not sure who's Saturday. I think maybe Bobby Saturday. And next week, there's a slot next week for you to tell me you want. Okay, he's talking with Bobby. Okay, now here we say the benching will do Lukaku good. He will return with aggression. I haven't seen Havertz play with intensity. Okay, the question for you is, what if Havertz starts fighting on all cylinders, starts scoring hat tricks to at least a brace per game, and then would you bench him?
No, if Havertz was starting scoring again for us, then why would you bench it? Like, it would make no sense to bench a goal scorer on form. It would make no sense.
Yeah, I mean, he's seeing how serious Tuchel is right now. I think he needs to shade whatever is happening to him, because the truth is the system isn't the issue, if you ask me. Yes, the system, if not deployed appropriately, can cause problems, because if players are played out of positions, then they won't create more chances. And the lesser chances will create, the lesser the possibility of us scoring goals. So we need players to be in the preferred positions to create more chances. So whoever is on the pitch gets more chances. And the more chances you get, the likelihood for you to score will be very, very high. So, but I don't think the system is the issue. He started very well. We played the same system when he started very well. And some players in those games that he did very well played out of positions too. So that makes the argument very difficult.
Yeah.
It's a mental thing right now. Yeah. Whatever happened after he returned from injury, I don't want to name what happened. We all know what happened. He should put it behind him. He should put it behind, maybe see a psychologist or something, see a shrink, find a way to get over it, because it's pulling him down. The last game he played, he looked like he didn't want to be there. He looked disinterested, as Just Viola would say it. So he needs to get over it. We want him to start firing on all cylinders, because we paid 100 million plus for him. And I believe he can still, adjust the way he plays, get involved more in the play, and he will start doing well. So let's go through these so that we can start the rating soon. This is just pleasantry between those in the chat. Nick, it's Soteri. Okay, thank you, staff. Okay. Yes, fine, babes. Over the moon at the moment. We're all over the moon. Coachila, I am an educator, not an enemy. Okay, you're making peace with me now because you're thinking you're not going to win our fight tomorrow. Captain America, yes, he was brilliant yesterday, and I hope he keeps that fun, and I hope he stays fit too. I'm good. I'm happy with our performance yesterday. We played better without Lukaku, and if Lukaku can give us movements, he can play. I think, how do you phrase it when somebody converts from one religion to another? A convert? I think Tobago here is a convert because Tobago is one of the staunchest supporters of Lukaku. He nearly punched me in the face if he could reach me from the screen. The day we talked about Lukaku's performances. I think he's a convert now, but it's not a good thing. We want him to do well. He's our player, and we have to support him. But he has to, like Mikhail have said before, he has to play like he wants to be there, and he hasn't done that of late. Stibia says always thought we never needed a striker since the Champions League, but hey, other than Haaland. Now, here's the thing. I've argued that before. I'm going to talk about it again. Now, we created so many chances. I don't want to just say we won the Champions League without Lukaku. And people thought, but we didn't put away the chances. Let me mention that too. And people thought, oh, all we need is just to sign the striker and we'll be fine. Here's the thing. We created so many chances that passes them because we had fluidity. Every player had the freedom to get into the box. They swap positions. No position was defined for any particular player. The three from the guys were switching places. It was so fluid. You can see 1-2s and all that. We didn't need to always whip it up in the air and hope for somebody to stop it. And now, who suggested we sign Lukaku is the person I would blame. If you're a scout and you thought about bringing in a defined striker, bringing in a number 9, a traditional number 9 in a team that created so many chances, but the issue was just that we didn't put away our chances because it wasn't just Timo Werner. A lot of players in the team were missing clear-cut chances.
Yeah.
It did not occur to them that bringing in Lukaku would mean we'd have to somehow tweak the way we play.
Yeah.
To get them firing on all cylinders. It did not occur to him that where Lukaku played before, he played with a lot of spaces. And that doesn't happen in the Premier League. It did not occur to them that it would take time to get our players start playing like Lautaro Martinez and Hakimi. All those factors, I don't know whose idea it was, but now I think they will learn. Hopefully they learn from it because this is not really entirely Lukaku's fault. We have to look at the root of the issues where it all started by deciding that this player's profile fits what we like. And if you look at Tuchel's teams from Mainz to Dortmund to PSG, he doesn't play with this type of striker.
He doesn't play with a clear number 9.
No, he doesn't. Even when he had this Argentine international at PSG, he doesn't play him all the time.
Icardi,
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, he didn't play him at all,
Yeah. We have to move on from RSC. He isn't at his youth anymore. Yesterday, he was okay, but he gives possession away too cheaply for my liking, especially when the space is limited in the center of the pack. Why is everybody looking for my trouble today?
To be honest,
no, I did not agree with this. But you go ahead and answer the question. Did he give the ball away cheaply yesterday?
No, I don't think he gave the ball away too cheaply yesterday. I think Kante, to be honest, a lot of midfielders always give the possession away all the time. It's not just him. A lot of midfielders do it, and it's normal. But my only concern with Loftus-Cheek is consistency. Can he be consistent in a full season? I don't know. It's still yet to see.
I would say rather let him stay fit. That's all he needs.
Yeah, that's
all he
fine.
needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I blame our board. Lukaku doesn't play position football because he played most of his time on counter attacks. That defines the problem.
You know what,
That's
Coach?
yes.
Even without Tuchel, I think even if Tuchel wasn't at Chelsea, I think that the board was always going to sign Lukaku
Why?
or like a big Lukaku, Holland, or I think because the history of Chelsea is to buy these big names every single time, and they sometimes they flop. Like you've had Shevchenko, you had Morata, you had Higuain. The only
Sometimes, a lot of the times they flopped.
Yeah, the only ones that haven't flopped is Diego Costa and Drogba, but a lot of them like big names
So
they
why
do
didn't
flop.
they think about why didn't they? Because I think we've had a stream too. We have a stream here where I say it doesn't. Good players don't have to be expensive, and I think we've made some great signings that proved for us. And especially in the attacking area, these guys are humans. You have to pay attention that all mainly the attackers, number nines who paid big money for, they don't do well. I'd rather have Abraham now at the club than the brother we have now. And it's not the
Yeah.
brother's fault.
Yeah. It's not really. It's not Lukaku's
It's not. It's
fault.
not. It's not entirely his fault. Yeah,
It's not
because we have
yeah.
to. Before we paid that much money, we should have thought it through. But it didn't look like we did.
And you know what? It begs. I just that's why I bring up the question: Did Tuchel really say yes to this move? I don't know. Like, it seems weird that Tuchel agreed to it. I don't believe Tuchel agreed to it. I think the board was just like, you have Lukaku now. Here you go, make it work.
Yep, I think he has to make it work, whether he likes it or not. I think if it doesn't, it creates a problem for him.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that if he doesn't perform, then there are other players to step in, and then you would not blame him as long as whoever comes in does the job. I don't think it will be a problem for him. So, and I think, this year, chance for Ruben Loftus-Cheek to step up as Kova is recovering, that is a good point. And hopefully, my only fear about for Ruben Loftus-Cheek is that he gets injured easily. I hope that doesn't happen. And please, if you're in the chat, please smash that like button if you haven't. And Helgi, please, can you share the stream on Facebook as we're about to round up in a few minutes? But I think we have to do the rating before we do so. And Fahim, I hope you still have time for us to continue.
Yeah. That's fine.
I think that's a great point there for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And Showtime, great time is Pulisic can consistently perform. He will bring great values for a sell this summer. Yep. Pulisic means more than just a footballer for Chelsea Football Club, and I've always said that. If he keeps performing, great sales, and he outsold Cristiano Ronaldo in the United States this past year in short sales. I think he can do it if deployed in his preferred position. He will be there, and I think he looked very confident that yesterday. And that's good to see. Yeah, he didn't give the ball away too much. I mean, he's not perfect, but still, he did quite well. What do you think?
Yeah, I just think he needs more consistency game time in that left wing position. I think if you give him the games in the left wing position, I think he can do well. He could be a starter at Chelsea in the future, 100%.
Yeah, I thank you, Mikhail, for coming to my rescue here. Fahim he's refused to succumb to how good RLC can become for us. He needs to be played a run of games for us to make conclusions about him. Don't just cancel my man for him.
I'm not canceling. I want him to stay.
The guy is good, and I think if he played, that is, if you give him a chance to play in a couple of games, I think it was even with just few minutes he played yesterday, he showed how good he can be. He was able to help us keep the ball. I don't know. Helgi just started a fight. I'd like to finish with him someday. Go ahead. You were saying something?
I asked you a question. Let's say Loftus-Cheek stays, what happens to players like Gallagher or Gilmore?
To who?
Gallagher and Gilmore. Do they stay or do they move on?
I think they're different. They are different two different types of players. Gilmore is more like a mashup of, you could say, DM and the register, and I'd prefer Gilmore over Jorginho anytime, any day. I love Jorginho, don't get me wrong. He's just more experienced than Gilmore, but Gilmore can progress the ball better than Jorginho, and actually sometimes can be aggressive than Jorginho. Gilmore went head-to-head with Ronaldo and won. Do you see that?
No,
So that's to show you, even his size isn't an issue.
Yeah,
you understand?
Yeah.
So back three can be delicious too. It can be. It has always been delicious, but the issue is that, like we've argued on Chelsea's perspective before, the issue with our team is that we have starters, we have backups. We had two wing backs, two prolific wing backs, two efficient wing backs in Ben Chilwell and Reece James, but we didn't have. They did not have competition in the team. They were in a world of their own. So the moment they got injured, the system started faltering because we don't have the specialists to help us execute it very well. So it is always delicious, because the truth is, with the three at the back system, I've said this before, our wing backs, their primary responsibilities isn't really to defend. It's always to support the attack. And that's why you remember the game against Norwich is a prime example of how, if that system is executed to a T, how efficient it can be. The Norwich players were confused because Reece James and Ben Chilwell were inverted, so that got them confused to a certain extent. Who do you stop? You have a lot of players coming at you. They weren't able to do anything about it with the right wing backs. Yes, correct. Do you all notice how the midfield was able to move the ball forward without? Oh my word! I think the day you coming from Blue Morning, I think we have to talk about Jorginho. They moved the ball quicker. In my world, you have Stav on your side, so I'm not going to start this fight anyway. I think you've won. What do you have to say about the statement here?
The one thing I will say about Jorginho is that he does slow down transitions, but that's his main role, to be honest. Like, to just be slow and composed. That's why Pep wanted him, because he's that sort of player that will just keep the possession at the team and this and that. But yeah, I mean, I know some people will be angry the fact that Jorginho doesn't play enough and this and that, and people will criticize Jorginho and this and that. Look, I think he's just a different sort of player, different sort of type of player that we have. Yeah, they're all different.
Here's the thing. He has his weaknesses.
Yeah.
And the video I did, who was I did the Jorginho profile with? It was Amaya, and I told Amaya, Jorginho's deficiencies can be exploited whenever Ngolo Kante isn't on the pitch, because he's not defensively sound. Even when he reads the game right and he's in the right position, players can outmuscle him, they can outrun him.
Yeah.
And I don't see a future for Jorginho. At this time, I have to agree. It doesn't look like the club will move to renew his contract. But
it's
we'll
mainly
see.
because, I think it's the fact that he's turning 30 years old, I think. So the club, when a player turns like 30 years old, they only offer a year contract extension and this and that. So I think he might be moving on this season, next season.
Yeah, I think he will, and I think it would be good for all parties involved. I think it wouldn't be bad if he leaves Chelsea now. He's won, some of the biggest trophies in the world in his time at Chelsea so far. It isn't a bad career at all. Now, I think because this is designed to be an interactive show, I'll see how quickly we can get to the rating, and how quickly. Let's run through the comments. I love Lukaku. He needs to do more for the team. Hope he learned how we played yesterday. Hope it was a wake-up call for him. and I hope it is not too late. Hope he didn't continue to sleep, because you don't change a winning team. If Kai continues to play like that and with that fluidity, even the owner who loves football will see the difference, the disparity in Lukaku's absence and in his presence, and wouldn't complain too much. But I think Lukaku eventually will start scoring goals, hopefully. I don't want to see him fail, because there's already, how opposition teams say how we ruin the career of number nines that have come to us. I've never won that fight whenever it comes up. And it's especially too with anyone that comes in and wears the number 9 shirt in the club. I'm starting to get concerned, because this Lukaku stage now is the same thing as the stage that Morata was then. When you start seeing him looking disinterested on the pitch, and then it seemed as if, okay, this is the end. I hope that's not the case. 100 million, you don't just throw it away like that. Mikhail, there you go again. Delicious. Yeah, delicious. Yeah, he's using the language delicious. Stab, you can't change that. Are you crying? Well, we had neither Chile yet. That's the truth. And let's go through this. Kante is better without Jorginho. Well, yeah, better without Jorginho, and because he has less work to do. And also, but the truth is Jorginho is better with Kante, but the other way, it's not the same. Yes, boss, amazing. Yes, thank you. Got to admit, it was juicy. That first goal settled the nerves, but then they came at us. So the second goal was a huge relief. Yeah, they were in a pushover. They came at us, but I think we stifled the attacking intent. We handled them very well. What do you think, Fahim?
Yeah, when it came to them pressing up high, we managed to escape the press, and that was a good thing because of the fact that we were moving a lot more. We were doing good 1-2s as well, like 1-2 and then move, and then 1-2 and then move, and then that's how we got our goals, our chances, and yeah.
And I haven't said anything about my brother Almighty Blues FC, who also has a channel. Please go check out his channel. Fahim CFC Fahim has a good channel too, always does a watch along. Please, if you're in the chat, go check out Fahim's channel, a great channel. And I'd like to see him fight with Stab on his channel, and I can be the referee there. They never agree on anything. And by the way, Stab, I must let you know that he hates Jorginho, so you know what to do. He loves Jorginho. He thinks Jorginho is the best, so you know what to do. And he hates Hakim Ziyech.
Oh
yeah, he's an option for sure. Yeah, let's look at this one here. If we're going to challenge for the EPL, we need to be adaptable system-wise. Two different players have different strengths. Yeah, that's the truth. Every player doesn't work with the 3 at the back system. Yeah. I think we need to be adaptable. That's the truth. But Titi seemed to be a bit stubborn, I think. But there's one thing about the 3 at the back system also. It doesn't matter who he starts. I think sometimes he finds a way to tweak it. It's been tweaked a bit up front. Sometimes that is the application is different in certain games. The application isn't the same in every game. In one game, it's applied one way. In the other game, it's applied differently. But the back remains, still remains 3, that is 3 at the back. But up front, there's always a tweak. And the truth is, to me, the way we deploy we apply that system, or the way we apply it on the pitch, I think it isn't really defensive. What do you think for him?
No, the reason I've said this before, the back 3, there are times we play that formation is to gain more control and to be more secure in defense. Because if an opponent or opposition play a 2 men up front, you can't play a back 4. Otherwise, the 2 centre backs will be pressed. They will be marked by those 2 front men. So we play a back 3 to outnumber the opposition's attackers. That's it, and that gives us more control, more possession. That means we have to rely on our wing backs to move forward more often and track back quickly. They need to be up and down all the time. So yeah, I don't see a back three the problem. I just see the personnel of the back three is a bit of a more of a problem.
Yeah, and I disagree with you, Tobago. Yesterday, it wasn't one of Alonso's worst games. He did more good than wrong. Um, had he scored at least a goal, that is two of the chances from one of the two chances he had yesterday, we'd be raving about him because we would have won the game by 3-0. I think he was fine. It wasn't his
Yeah.
best game. It wasn't his worst game either, if you ask me. Again, because this is an interactive show, designed to be an interactive show, I'm going to try to quickly go through the chat so that we can do the rating and call it a day. If I was Rudiger, I'm not going to even read these. Vignesh, what did I do to you? No, you're not going to get me into trouble. Yeah. If I was Rudiger, I will hug Alonso for that performance. Let me fix it for you. Oh my, that's hilarious. ZH made contact with a Lille defender in an attack just before he went down. Okay, thank you for educating me again. Yes, you said it. You're an educator and not a fighter, but we'll still fight tomorrow morning, and it's gonna be fire. Alonso can only attack. He just cannot defend. Bat. Yeah, I get what you said. Bat. Whatever he does. Yeah, come up with important goals for us. He has on occasions, especially against Spurs. He's been against Tottenham. He's been one of our best players since I started following him, since he joined Chelsea. Just to clarify, our win against Liverpool was without J5.
I mean,
Okay.
last season against Liverpool at Anfield, we played Jorginho and
Was
Kante.
it who played? It was Gilmore.
No, at Anfield.
Who played?
Jorginho and Kante in midfield.
Oh, okay. Which of the games did Gilmore skin?
Oh, that was the FA Cup game. That was under Lampard.
Yeah.
That was a few.
Yeah, he's trying. He's just trying to get at me, but that's fine. Let's see if we have some input to read here. If we played the way we played yesterday, yes, we have a good chance to win it again, but wouldn't be easy. No, it's never going to be easy. Never. Winning the Champions League, never easy. We have every chance of winning the Champions League as long as we don't get any other injuries. Yeah, but we have enough squad depth, and whoever comes on, I think, in terms of the midfield area and the attacking area, I think we're loaded in those areas. But the wing-back area is what I don't want to start talking about, why we didn't find good players in the transfer window. Maybe Tuchel has found solution in, what's his name, Lewis Hall and Kennedy. Maybe they'll do good enough job to help us go through. Big up Coachila, big up Fahim. Just Viola, the friend that told me to always smile on camera. Every time I see her, I do my best to smile. And that changed a lot. Thank you, Viola, for teaching me that. I appreciate you being in the chat. We were drawing games even before the injuries for us. For COVID, Everton played at the Bridge with 14 players missing. Okay, staff, stop putting me on the spot. You win. Okay. And let's see, there's anything, the 8 in the... Okay, that's another one. Let's see if we'll say anything that we can talk about. It is because when you play Premier League, the opponents always wants to beat the champions of Europe. I think that's a good argument. We're the team to beat in the Premier League. Yes, declared my brother. Chelsea perspective, about time you did early one. Yeah, an early one. It's a daily show now, so it's always on every day, 11 a.m. UK and 3 a.m. for me, but that's fine. It's my dedication. So you can always catch up and you can book a place for next week because the whole week is filled. So let's go quickly, partially. Nick, we are Chelsea, one of the big 3 targets. Yeah. Okay, Lukaku is down in twos. He's throwing his toys out of the pram. We all know he can play better than he's playing because what was, yeah. Go ahead, Fine. Can you go ahead take care of this question while if you're done with that one, I'll switch it to the next one. Let me prepare the tool for the rating.
The Downing tools, maybe. I think the performance against Arsenal, he was a lot more. I don't know. He was moving a lot more often, and then that was
Mm.
because we had Reece James as well, as a wing back. I think the wing backs have kind of hampered a little bit of his performances, but there's no excuse like to have like 7 touches against Crystal Palace. He needs to get involved a little bit more. So yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
can't say he is downing tools. I think that's also the fact that mentally he's just not in the right place, and the media is just onto him. They're just onto him, and I don't think he just needs to take. I think Tuchel just needs to bench him and let him recover properly, then bring him back stronger. That's it.
Yeah, can you please read this comment on the screen?
Yep.
I don't know what the person is saying. Probably a fellow American.
Pulisic without injury is better than Ziyech Mount combined. The one, I mean, I think the only problem with Pulisic is consistency. He's got ability. He's got attributes that can definitely help Chelsea into many things, win many titles. But consistency is his main problem, and that's also down to the fact that he is quite injury prone. When you're getting injuries, you do tend to obviously struggle to come back to your best form. You're gonna need time to get back to your best form. So that's the only problem with Pulisic is consistency and the injuries. If that's sorted, then maybe Mount and Ziyech combined. I don't know about that. I think people need to respect the Mount a little bit to be consistent almost every single game and be injury free. It's not easy. He relies on playing at high intensity, whereas Pulisic is more of a, I don't know.
I'm sorry, can you read this one to Showtime? Your problem now, whenever he gets you, sort it out with him.
Don't worry about Showtime. Lukaku is breaking.
Oh
I
my, I'm
need.
dying here. The Cloud he started a fight and ran away because I think he's off to work now.
Yeah, Showtime. I need to see him talk about Lukaku, because he backs Lukaku too much, too much.
Oh
Even
my,
when he's performing bad.
he doesn't. He would. I think he would take a bullet for Lukaku. I saw his comment yesterday before the game started.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
He's even when he's having bad performances, he's still backing him.
Yeah,
He's still backing him. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. It's crazy. We are
So what's this
fluid
comment
without
here?
Mount and Lukaku. Yeah, I mean,
We are fluid without Mount. Mount
I think
has
Mount.
played in that system and he contributed to the fluidity also. I think he
Yeah.
has good understanding with those players that played in the front there. That's the truth. Okay, let's see this one. Declared which team will sign. Oh, see if my friend, this can you go ahead with that one? I'm getting this ready.
Okay. See it, my friend. This guy has always pushed for a move. Man United and Inter, if he doesn't like it, he moves. To be
Who
honest,
has
it
always
is
pushed
true.
for a move?
Lukaku.
Oh, Lukaku. He's following his trailing his that is his history at clubs,
I
right?
think with Inter, he wasn't really pushing for a move. He was looking for more money. To be honest, he
And
wanted a.
they didn't give it to him.
Yeah, they didn't give it to him. So Chelsea were there, and he was like, "Okay, I'll just go to Chelsea." I don't think he was actively pushing to leave Inter. He would have stayed at Inter because his contract length that time was I think
Mm.
3 years, and he wanted more money and a longer contract. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe Man United. Yeah, he was definitely pushing for a move from Man United, but I don't know about Inter.
Chelsea came and he wanted to leave. Big up Chelsea perspective and everyone in the stream watching your show from work. Great win yesterday. Havertz showed Lukaku. Showed Lukaku how to play in a TT system with his movements and scoring as well. You go ahead with that one. Let me just fix the players' names.
Totally agree. Havertz, he wants to drop deep. He wants to move from the right to and then to the center, then center to the right.
there's more drifting in movements with Havertz than Lukaku. Lukaku always wants to make one run, and you have to feed him that for that run. And I think this system relies on a lot of movement, and it relies on everyone working together.
Every system movement is important. It's not just that one for me, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's not just this one, but with this one, it's like the front three have to constantly move around left, right, center. You see sometimes Havertz on the right, Pulisic, the striker. And you know what? When it comes to pressing, right, it's not like if how do I say it? Everyone is at their right positions, if you get what I mean. Like you sometimes when we're pressing, sometimes when you see Pulisic, a striker, pressing, and then Havertz will just cover the right hand side for Pulisic. And
so there's proper understanding between the players.
Proper understanding, yes. There's proper understanding, and I think with Lukaku, we did see that a little bit earlier in the season, that he was pressing on the right more than the center. But look, I like Havertz playing in this system more than Lukaku.
Yeah. Says you're a troublemaker. I've always been an educator. That's you, by the way. Hey, comics, yes. I wish you had control over this thing so you can do it yourself. Sorry, we're supposed to say, no, we understand, bro. It happens. Smart devices are not smart after all. It happens to all of us. Okay, they had conversations between themselves. We can get through everything, trying to see anything. Can you go ahead with this one? See if you understand what they're trying to talk about there.
100%. We need to beat Liverpool on Sunday. We'll be at the final. Going with my miss here. She has never been watching. Yeah. Look, every final is a must win. No one can disagree of not winning in the final. If you're in a final, it doesn't matter what your performances is like. The goal is to win that final. That's it. We shouldn't be caring about performances after a final. We should be focusing on trying to win that final, get the job done, win the trophy. That's it. Game done.
Yeah, you have to win it. You have to win it. You know.
Every final is important.
So, yeah, just go ahead with it. I'm on ready in a little bit.
So even yes, it's against Liverpool. If we set up to defend, I will back it. If we set up to press Liverpool, I'll back it. It's just the goal must be to win, and that's it. So it's just we have
to win it.
We shouldn't really prioritize other competition over a final. A final's a final. You win it. Job done.
No, but what I said before was just, and then if it happens, then we're more likely to do the other one. So let me share my screen so that we can do the rating and get it done. I think it's been a great show so far. Very enjoyable, great conversation, and great input from the fans. Those in the chat. So let's just go through a few. Then we can, this one here. You want to fight Coachila on Thursday? Yes, we want to fight. And I know you see what I scheduled for tomorrow. Pulisic and Ziyech both moved. Yep, that's right. We haven't touched any comment from this guy here. Michael talks football. Hello, Chelsea perspective. Impressive win by Chelsea. Much more fluidity up front. I wonder why. Just happy for my boy Pulisic. He needs to gain confidence. I get you. We wonder why, and I'm not going to talk about it again. And Michael, welcome to Chelsea Perspective. Nice to see you here, my brother. So many comments to get through, but we'll see if there's any input that's worth reading here. From Mikhail, Jeff gives us metronome passes, but now we've learned to play out without him on pitch. The team has evolved to a point, perhaps, when we can move on from dependency on J5 if we can get better replacement. I think we have players in the team that are capable of helping us execute that role even better. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Jorginho is not irreplaceable. You can definitely upgrade from Jorginho. So if we can do that, then why not? Just go try and find someone better than Jorginho. I have no problems with that.
Do you think he stays?
It depends on whether the board will offer a longer contract, but I don't think he'll stay. I think he's gonna leave either this season or next season.
Yeah, I feel bad for Josh Viola. You see his comment whenever Lukaku plays. I always scream at the TV, run, 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 run. Sorry. Just a perspective, if you need me to drop my reasoning of Lukaku down into, so I got history of behaviors and my
One thing I'll
and
say,
I think we you have to come on next week. I'll book your place. Greetings to Sports VJ, Sports Wire. Greetings to DJ Sub 17, the Clad, and everybody. If I missed your name, apologies. So now we're gonna go straight into the rating. I don't know. Do you want me to open the stream? You're the guest here. What do you think?
I don't mind. It's up to you, coach. It's up to you. It's your channel. It's your
Okay,
channel.
let's just quickly see if we can complete it. It's an interactive show, but we can open it now and round it off with everybody in the chat. So let me see. Where's that link there? Just a bit. One moment. So we can finish it with them. Okay, let me see if I can post it here. All right, and there you go. I think I've sent the link to the stream in the chat. So if you want to join, you can join us now so we can do the rating. So for him looking at the screen, did I get everything correct? Was Cover on the left or on the right?
Cover was, I think, on the left. I think that's right. Yeah.
Okay, I think the position doesn't matter right now. I think if we got every other position correct, let's just go ahead with the rating. Stab, I'm not gonna fight you if that's what you're here for. I am not ready to fight. I'm just here to do a rating right now. So let's get into it immediately. Mendy between the sticks. Greetings to you, Stab. How would you rate his performance yesterday? And people in the chat, let us know how you rate Edouard Mendy's performance for that game. For him, what do you think?
Mendy, I mean, he didn't really have to do much. So, a clean sheet is always a good thing. So I'd give Mendy like a 7.
Okay, a 7 for you for Mendy. Declan, welcome to the show. Always nice to have you around.
What's going on? It's been a while.
It's been a minute, brother. I know you're a very busy person, and if you have time, we can fix you, give you a slot for next week. The whole week is filled up. We have just 2 days to finish the week, the blue morning for the week. DJ Staff said for Mendy 7. Nick Blue, your connection is not coming through. Okay, there you go. So DJ Staff says 7. And Fahim, what number did you say?
7. I said 7.
7. Okay. Staff, how would you rate Mendy's performance yesterday?
6, based on his lack of activity, shall we say, and that missed kick. Otherwise, he would have got something.
Okay, Declan, how about you? How do you rate Mendy's performance in that game?
I think 7's fair. You're gonna have a lot to do, but there was a few moments, and he was composed, and we felt good about it. He's the same. So I think it was solid in the little few moments that he had. So I think 7's a good score.
Yeah, I think let's go for 7. How about you, Nick Blue? How would you rate? And Nick, by the way, welcome to the stream, and also Tobacco, welcome to the stream. Nick, how would you rate Mendy's performance?
Yeah, well, he didn't have much to do really, but what he had to do when he came out and put that ball, cleared that ball like a defender, was good.
Yeah.
So 7 for me.
A 7, Tobago. Do you differ?
7 for me.
Okay, 7 it is, and I think he deserves a 7. And he could have been. I mean, he didn't have too much to do during the game, so a 7 is a good rating for him. Let's go for Rude Boy Rudiger. I'll start with you, Tobago. How would you rate his performance yesterday?
8.5.
8.5. Okay, and people in the chat, let us know how you rate Rudiger's performance. And for you, Nick Blue, Rudiger,
always good. Yeah, I'll give him an 8.
an 8. So it's still around that 8.5. How about you, Declared?
I would have given him an 8, but he knew he scored that own goal, so I'm going to give him a 7.
Yeah, but he didn't score the goal.
It loses a point for nearly scoring an own goal.
I think
Yeah,
the
and he
Declared
hasn't signed
always
the contract yet
likes
too,
like
Nick,
the
so-
Declared likes to fight.
I
You
like
just have to say, go ahead.
What, me? 7.
No, I thought Declan was saying he likes to fight with me. Yeah, we'll book a fight. We'll book a fight for another Blue
that-
Money show this coming week.
that
Maybe
wasn't me, mate.
Saturday.
You know,
I think I have space Saturday.
You know I got your back. I don't fight with you. We got the same perspective.
Stav, how do you rate Rudiger's performance?
7. Because he
A
had a few
7?
niggly moments where he was taking chances of getting booked and into
So
trouble.
we still have more. We have more 7s here for Rudiger. Tobago, what did you say? You said 8, right? Okay, more 7s. Just Viola 7 also. Okay. Fahim for Rudiger.
Yeah, I think 7 is fair for Rudiger.
So 7. Yeah, 7 it is, and I think it wasn't his best game, but he didn't do much wrong except for that near own goal. That scared the heck out of me, and had that gone in, we maybe would have been talking about a different outcome today. Starting with you, Fahim, and this Benjamin Button Brazilian, what do you think?
Yeah, he was absolutely amazing. I would give him a 9 if it could be
A 9. Did he
9.
put a foot wrong for you?
No, I'm just saying like if he had scored, definitely a 10. I would give him a 9. 9. I feel like
You give him a
players-
9. Okay, DJ South 17 say 10. He plays like he's Yeah, he maybe some people lie to say they're young, to say they're younger. Maybe he lied to say he's older. I don't know why. I mean, he's from a different world. If you ask me how he does that, I don't know. And I'm preparing a very serious video about what makes him special. Yeah, but that's by the way. And Just Viola says 9. So you said, what would you say? What did you say again?
I said 9. Yeah.
You said 9, so we have 2 9s, 1 10. And for you, Stav, how would you rate Thiago Silva?
9.
A 9. We have 3 9s. Declared.
Let's give him a 10. Couldn't
Okay,
put
we
it
have 2
wrong.
10s for Silva.
Don't forget he's upside down though. He's down under.
Okay. And Nick Blue, how about you?
Yeah, Silva was great. He has to have a 9. But
A 9, we have 4 9s.
Yeah, go on.
Okay,
he's not my man of
No,
the
you
match.
wanted to explain something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to give him 9, but for me, Kante was man of the match. He gets a 10 out of 10. Kante
You're giving him
man
10
of the
out of
match.
10.
Silva was great. Kante was man of the match for me, yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
he gets 4 10s and 4 9s. And for you, Tobago, how would you rate him?
10 for me.
A 10 for you. He has 5 10s. Jay-Z, make sure to give a 10 to Timo as a song.
Oh my god. I can't
Okay,
believe this.
Jay, don't start a fight now. Okay, Jay, how would you rate Thiago Silva's performance? And for me, I'll give him a 10. I think a 10 wins. He was perfect on the day. Had he scored a goal, I'd give him 10 plus. For me, so 10 wins actually. So let's give him the 10. Let's go to Andreas Christensen. I'm starting with you, Tobago. How would you rate his performance?
8 for me.
8 for Andreas Christensen. Nick Blue.
I'm going to give him a 6.5. He wasn't that good, really, for me.
Okay, 6.5.
No,
AC gets 1. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, 6.5.
Okay. And Tobago, you said what number?
8 for me. How can you
8,
give Christensen 8.5,
okay.
6.5?
Okay, DJ Saab says 7. And how about you, Declared?
He's got a point. I'll give him 7. 7 sounds about right from what everyone's saying.
7. We have
Still
what, two
solid, yeah.
sevens. Okay, he was solid. Yeah, I agree. He was solid. He had a good game. And you could argue he didn't put a foot wrong too. How about you, Stav? How would you rate him? We have one more 7 from Just Viola.
7.
A 7 for him.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah, 7 wins it for Andres Christensen. How about Cesar Azpilicueta, Captain Fantastic? Fantastic. How was his performance yesterday?
It was not bad. But I'll give it a 7 as well.
Okay, style for Christensen for Aspi.
7, because he did the job that he had to. He got forward. He went inverted and he combined with Ziyech as well. And
Good exploit. Yeah, he did well. Yeah, defensively he was solid. Going forward, also I think he did better than usual. How about you, Declared?
7's the theme, huh? I think I guess 7 as well. Nice and
Okay.
did everything right.
Okay, Nick. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I'll have to give him 7 as well. It was just about for me. That's why 7 for Aspi. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, 7 from Nick Blue. Mika is always looking for trouble. No, I don't want to say what I would give him even on the page because his face, there's a snippet of how his face looked during the game, a tweet. I don't want to talk about it right now. Okay, Tobago, your rating for Aspi?
7 for me.
A 7, so it's 7 for Azpilicueta, and everybody in the chat can agree 7 for Cesar Azpilicueta. So now, how about Kante? Tobago, with Kante, let's go.
Kante, for me, 8 for me.
8 for Kante. Okay, Nick Blue, Kante, your
For me,
rating?
Kante gets a 10. Man of the match for me. He was
Okay.
everywhere. You know,
He was literally everywhere. Yep.
You know, 10 out of 10 for Kante. That's world class. You know what we know, what we saw.
Yeah. Yeah, and we have 2 10s in the chart. And how about you, Declared for Kante?
I'll give him a 9. It's good to have him back because his previous performances have been pretty bad, and it was starting to be questionable if Kante, if this is the Kante that we're gonna have from now on. But it's good to see he's back.
Yeah, good to see him back too. And the truth is, I didn't expect him to be that good yesterday because, like you mentioned, of late he's been poor, unlike him. But yeah, I think. Well, I'll give him a 10 too. But Declared, you said 9, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Stav, how about you?
10, because he was integral to everything we did.
Yeah.
Defensively, going forward, his assists, he was dispossessing their players and bringing it out. It's not just about dispossessing and passing. He dispossesses people, turns
and an assist.
And drives. Yeah, and the assist as well. 10. If I could give him 20, I'd give him 20, but 10.
We're not going to fight about that. For you.
And he proved me right as well. Remember what I said last night before the game. So I've got to give him 10, haven't I? Okay.
And you for him?
Yeah, 10. Kante was a machine. Like it was a complete midfield performance from Kante.
Declared you were just blown out of water. Okay,
for me, Silva was man of the match. So
yeah. Yeah, no, but you made a great point. I didn't expect him to be that good. And if you give him rating a player, you can say why you're rating him that high or that low. For him, for cover, what do you think?
Cover, I think an 8 cover for cover, yeah.
An 8 for cover. Why? You want to say?
I think it's mainly because of the fact that he came off at 50th minute. If he had played full 90, maybe I would have given him a higher rating. But
Oh no! Are you a nice
maybe
guy? I thought he got injured, and you rating him,
okay,
giving
you
him
know,
that
okay,
rating
nine,
because he got
I
injured.
like Kovacic. I like Kovacic. He okay.
Fahim, don't let him intimidate you. Fahim,
I'm
don't let him
giving him a 9.
intimidate you.
I'm
I'm
not.
just
I'm
kidding
not.
with you. I'm just
A
kidding with
9.
you. And don't think Stab is your friend until he comes to your channel and sees
Oh,
how
I've
much
been
you
chatting
hate
to him.
Ziyech.
I've been
Okay.
chatting to him this
Okay,
morning. What are you
Stab,
on
go
about?
ahead. Stab,
I've been
Stab,
chatting with Fahim
Stab.
this morning.
Okay, Stab,
Listen,
give me covers rating, please.
right, invariably, when you go off, the rating is lower. Had he stayed on the pitch, I would have given him an 8 or 9. But because he went off, I'm giving him 7. But
Oh my
he could have
goodness.
said, nah, shut up, you muppet. Be quiet. Don't interrupt me. What's you, are you called, what do you call it? More. Don't interrupt.
All right,
I
all
gave you
right.
a
You said
reason.
7.
I gave you the reason why. If he'd have stayed on
Okay,
the pitch, he would have got an 8 or a 9. And the reason
okay.
that Kante is man of the match for me is because he was more influential all the way
Okay.
through the game than even Silva. Okay? That's why he's man of the match. Move
Okay,
on.
so cover you said 7,
7.
right?
Yeah, but only because he went off.
Okay. Declan, over to you. How would you rate Cover's performance?
Well, I was kind of like with him and give him a 8, but because he got injured, I got to take 1 point off, and so he's got to get a 7
Yeah,
for getting
of course
injured, I
you
guess.
have to
So
align with my enemies. I thought you were my brother. That's fine.
Coachila,
I'm giving him a 7.
In that
Coachila,
case,
He's
in
getting
that
a
case, I'll
-1
coach,
for getting injured.
coach.
Yeah,
Coach,
it
Coachila,
I'm
was
giving
his
him an
fault.
8.
He broke his leg by himself. He picked up, he find a
he
way
hasn't
to like
broken.
get
He
himself
hasn't broken
injured.
Yeah,
his leg.
why did he get injured before we played the cup final?
He hasn't
What
broken
a
his
time
leg.
to get injured. He's lucky he
So
doesn't get
you
a
guys,
6.
so you guys are pissed at him because he got injured, right? Declan?
Yeah, before a
No,
cup final. Before a
it's
cup
natural.
Eh?
final.
That's the
It's
case. That's
natural.
fine by me. I find somebody
It's
that
a
supports
natural
me. Maybe
assessment.
Nick, how do you rate Nick? How do you rate him?
Kova was great. He's been one of our best players this year. Shame he had to go off. I would have given him a 9 if he stayed on. So he has to be an 8 for me, even when he went off.
See, Nick's
Everybody's
blaming
just
him for getting
against
injured
me.
too.
So he's still -1 for him. That's okay. I will survive. Tobago, tell me, how would you rate Cover's performance?
Because of the injury, I'll give him a 7 for me.
Coachella,
It's his
I know
fault,
that.
man. I tell you.
Coachella, can I just say something? I know
Yeah,
that
say
over in
something. Go
America.
ahead.
I know that over in America, you think everything's bigger and better, right? But the assessment of is over a 90-minute performance for everyone else.
Oh
So you have
my.
to assess
Okay,
him on the time
I
he was on the pitch.
understand.
This isn't
I
USA.
understand.
This is a worldwide audience.
Is this statement on the screen correct that he might be fit for the final?
I think he's on the race.
Nobody knows yet.
Nobody knows what's going to happen because Tuchel said he should have took him off earlier, right? So the situation is he might have had a minor strain and he aggravated it because of that run. So he could be ready. And same thing applies to Ziyech. As long as Ziyech hasn't broken a bone or anything when he made the contact with that defender, and he did make a contact, he might be fit as well. It's best to just wait till Friday, and then more news will come out now.
Okay, hopefully. So let's get through it quickly so I can get your thoughts. Take 1 minute to get your thoughts on the games or the team's overall performance. Here we have, what did they say there? Stav, this one for you at least is somebody that supports me. Stav would be a rowdy player in his day. Thank you very much. I think I have somebody on my side.
What was that
Cover
comment?
getting injured was,
What was that comment? What was that comment?
I'll read
That would be what? That would be what?
a rowdy.
Well, as a player, listen, if I was a player, mate, I'd be a leader. Right? Like, I would be a John Terry. I would be a John Terry. I'd be shouting at people all the time. Move your ass, get over there.
Agree. Well, I agree. Okay, this comment says our cover getting injured was not his fault. Thank you. I love you, brother. He didn't finish the game, so that. Okay, bye now. I'm not talking again. I thought you were on my side.
Listen,
So, Tobago, let's go to ZH. Please, ZH underperformed yesterday. He was very poor. What do you think?
why was he poor?
He was not poor.
Can you stop? You're trying to be on the side of stuff. What are you saying, Tobago? Tobago, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, can you please rate ZX? At least, anything below 4 would be good.
I'll give him a 6.
You're going to pay a price tomorrow, Coachila.
Wow.
Right, everybody who's watching and listening and reading the stream, right?
You give ZX a 6.
Tune in tomorrow,
Yes.
because there's fireworks in the line. Right, tune in tomorrow.
A 7 from Just Viola. Okay, Nick Bloop, how would you rate ZH's performance yesterday?
ZH, he wasn't that bad. He was good till he went off. He has to be 7.5 for me.
Okay, 7.5. Truthfully, he was on poor. I was just joking. I was just pulling. Yeah.
Don't pull my leg. Don't pull my leg.
Yeah.
6.5 from VJ. VJ, you're in trouble. I think Stab will find you more Dennis Wise than JT. Thank you. Keep giving it to him. Mikhail, thank you for being there for me. Declared ZX, what do you think about his performance?
Well, this guy's not excluded from injuries too, is he? He
had to leave the field with an injury, so that's like around minus 30 points.
And before a cup final as well. Like, what do these guys think they're doing?
Yeah.
Listen, declared. I know that you're partially ahead of us, right?
Go ahead, Declared.
That Sunday comes before he does for us. He'll recover.
In the future, he should learn not to get injured. Go ahead, Declared. I'm waiting.
Yeah, hey, I didn't see anyone put a tackle in. He just got injured.
He didn't
put themselves.
I didn't say he put a tackle in. I said
no one put a tackle in. He went
for the 50. He went for the 50-50 ball in their box a couple of minutes before he went down. Right?
Hey, there could be a case to say he wasn't 100%, didn't tell the gaffer, and played on, right, and got injured before a cup final.
How would you rate him?
I'll give him a 7.
A 7. That's a fair rating, actually. I mean, he left the pitch. You guys taught me today. Once a player leaves the pitch, and why would he get injured in the first place? Does he not reason well? We have a final coming. I learned that. That's hilarious. Yeah, a 7. So, Stav, go ahead. Give him a 20 if you want to. It's your boy,
right.
Your turn.
Like declared, right? Australians are strange people, right? They've got a strange outlook on life. And I'm going to shock you here, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say 6 because he went off early, right? I would have given him an 8 normally because it wasn't a perfect performance, right? There's a couple of times he could have laid the ball off quicker or he could have had a shot with his right foot when he was in on goal. But I would have given him an 8 normally, but 6 because he went off. But he did kick a Lille defender. They both went for a high ball, and if you notice, he kicked him, and then he went down not long after, right? Because the Lille defender went down injured, right? So there was a collision there, and it wasn't long before he went down. And maybe
makes it even more his fault, true.
Maybe he was trying to run it off and then realised he couldn't. So as long as it's not
stop kicking people.
As long as it's not a bit.
That's about it.
Hang on a minute. You want a fight, don't you? I'll give you a fight. I'll give you a quick fight,
See,
yeah?
what is he
When-
kickboxing?
when-
Why is he kicking people?
People
Look how
before,
skinny Ziyech is. Why is he kicking
people
people?
before.
Okay,
before-
okay, let's calm down, guys.
Well,
Let's calm down.
wait. I've got to get this comment out. People before were complaining that he was chicken and he didn't get stuck in and he didn't do this and he didn't do that. Well, he did it, didn't he? And he has been doing it game after game. And I like that commitment. Unfortunate, he's picked up an injury. Hopefully, it's not a serious one. Now,
No,
let's
I hope
move
so.
on.
I hope it's not serious. All jokes aside, I hope it's not serious. So, what do you rate him? You say 6.5?
No, I said 6.
Okay, a 6, yes.
Because
So,
he made a couple of mistakes early on, decision
no,
making.
honestly, truthfully, that he wasn't. That wasn't his best game. He wasn't bad either. I think he had a good game. Had he stayed on, I think he would have done more. I have to be honest. This is not me trying to get on your good side. We're still enemies, by the way.
It's
So I have to make that clear.
Too late.
Yeah.
It's too late
Yeah.
trying to get on my good side. You get it tomorrow.
Maybe that's what I'm trying, but we'll see. Tomorrow we'll find out. So Fahim, to you, how would you rate Ziyech's performance?
Hearing Stav's comment about Ziyech, I decided to change it from a 7 to a 6.5. He was a bit predictable yesterday, and he had chances to shoot on his right foot, but he tried to shoot on his left. And the Lille
And he had a
defenders.
chance to cross with his right foot, but he tried to find his left. We talked about that on your stream. We have to be objective here. Yeah, so from what I have,
6.5.
go ahead. You were still saying something. Sorry.
6.5. I'll give him 6.5.
Okay, I think we have more 6.5s here. So the average here should be 6.5. For me, I think it's around that number 2. Because he left the pitch also with an injury. I think 6.5 makes sense for Ziyech, so that's a fair enough rating. Starting with you, Captain America, you have to give him a high number, to be on my good side. So go ahead.
I'll give Pulisic a 10. Why not? He scored, performed well. He didn't really do anything wrong, so yeah, he deserves a 10 in my opinion.
Well, you're my friend forever. Okay, Stav, you go ahead.
9, because he wasn't as influential as Kante, but that's the only reason. He was important, and he was good, and once again he proved me right, didn't he?
So go ahead. You declared 8.5 here from VJ.
I thought we're brothers here. I don't want to break the look, listen, we got to give him a higher score because he's our most injury-prone player and didn't get injured, unlike Ziyech and Havertz. So
logic. Declan, let me ask you: are you a lawyer?
No,
he's a kangaroo farmer.
Stav, I don't think a fight with Declan is one you can win. So you
you don't know me, do you? Listen, I can win.
Okay, don't worry. I'll put you two together. Go ahead, Declan. Okay, let Declan finish with his rating.
I'll give him 8 is a good one because they not only didn't get injured, but this is the Pulisic I've been waiting to see. He's been playing out of position. He's played so many different roles, not just positions, and he hasn't been that great. And he got a chance tonight, and he put a performance. And I want to see that because our attackers have been poor, and we need people to step up. And I think Havertz stepped up. Now he stepped up, and if Ziyech keeps going and Mount steps up, gets the form, I think we can finish the season strong, and that's what I want to see. So I'll give Pulisic 8.
Yeah, I said that last night. By the way, declared. I said that last night before the game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I tune into your stream all the time.
Yeah, you did. Nick Blue, how would you rate Pulisic? Is Nick still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Pulisic. Yeah, he was more like the old Pulisic we know. You know how good he is really. great performance, great goal. He has to be 8.5. I'll
Okay,
give him
8.5.
8.5 because Kante is 10, Silva was 9. That's how it goes. So 8.5.
Nick, I
I
think
think
you're trying to one
that's
up
a
me,
fair
mate.
enough rating. Go ahead.
I was
Yeah.
saying, I think Nick was trying to one up me. That's why he did 8.5.
Now you
No, he was
you
good.
I should have thought about it better.
The only reason I
nah,
didn't give him a
you say,
the only
Nick,
reason I didn't give him a 9 or 10 because of
Uh-huh.
Kante and Silva.
Okay.
If it wasn't for them two, he would have been man of the match.
I
yeah,
thought you
see,
gave them both 10s, Silva.
shut up, you
I
Aussie.
know. I gave Silva 9 and Kante 10. You can't give everyone 10.
Okay. So my bad.
There's only one 10 man of the match, and that's Kante.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, you
See,
can have
that's
2 man of the matches, can't you?
no.
For me.
See, that's Cypriot
For me.
logic. That's
Yeah.
Cypriot logic, right? We always have a logistic thought about things, but you Aussies, you're just too strange.
Yeah, he lives under the umbrella, you know.
Yeah.
So how would you
It's
rate
nice and
him?
sunny here.
What's your rating for him, Nick?
Cool. I said for Pulisic.
For Pulisic.
Pulisic
He said,
is 8.5. And I said the only reason is not more because of Silva and Kante. Them two got more from me. That's
Okay, fair enough. And your explanation is good. Over to you, Tobago. How would you rate Pulisic?
8. No, 8. 9 for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have just 3 9s. We have 4 8.5. So it is 8.5 indeed. I think he had a good game yesterday. It wasn't perfect. I think every player, they were all good. And I'm just leaving one man for. I'm just going to leave Alonso for last intentionally.
yeah, I know
Tobago Tobago for Hazard, how would you rate him?
10 for me.
For Havertz?
10.
A 10?
Yes.
Why would you rate it? Why would you give him a 10?
His performance and also his work rate.
Okay, his work rate. Well, yeah, he did. I think he was tireless yesterday. He worked very well. And Jay-Z gave him a 9. Thank you for that input there. Jay gave him a 9. Just Viola gave him a 9 also. So I'm going to come to you, Nick Blue. Kai Havertz, how would you rate him?
He was great. He showed what Lukaku should be doing, running around everywhere, not just standing there. So for me, he was good. But I think same as Pulisic, he's going to get 8.5 as well.
8.5. Okay. And to you, Declan?
I'm going to give Havertz a 9 just because this was a one chance that Lukaku got dropped after, I think, was it 10 games that he played straight?
Mm-hmm.
And we needed someone to step up. He was going to have... See, if Kai Havertz had a bad game too, then everyone was just going to say, oh, Lukaku should have played, and that's what we're missing. But he had a good game after some bad performances and lack of game time, and he stepped up well. And he was a menace in the first 30 minutes. We could have been 3-0 up. Yeah, and if you look at how much he runs as much as a midfielder. So defenders can't keep up. And it's complete opposite of what Lukaku's been doing. So, and not only that, because of that Havertz playing in that position and Lukaku out, our performance overall just increased, and the game was flowing. And I hated watching Chelsea in the last few games, except the Tottenham games. But the last games that we played, I hated watching them. It was hard to watch the way we played. But last night was great on the eyes.
It was.
Well. And I love the performance. So Havertz gets a 9 because I think that started from him.
Yeah, it was a fair enough rating from you. Stab, over to you.
Yeah, 9 because he and the other two either side of him and Kante made the system work with their drive and movement. And that's what I said last night in your pre-game show that I don't have a problem with the system as long as the movement's there. The people who are playing behind with the striker or false nine are allowed to drift and use their strengths. Use their strengths. Yeah. And Kante, right, did what I said he was going to do. And if Jorginho had been playing, that wouldn't have happened. I have no doubt that we would not have had the same drive.
So overall, how would you rate Kai?
9.
A 9. Okay.
Yeah.
Over to you, Fahim. How would you rate him?
I'll give Kai a 9. Good performance. Just hope that he does this consistently. But yeah, I'm gonna head off, Coach. Big up to you. Great show.
Yeah, big up to you, man. Thank you for staying. I think it was just show, and thank you for allowing me to open the stream. I think it makes it more fun. But again, the format is 2 panelists, but we had to open it so that because this one we had to rate this. We have more people rating. So thank you again. I appreciate you, and I hope to get on your own channel soon. And guys, please, if you have time, check out CFC Fahim, a great channel, up and coming, but he does quality work objectively. It's not about fake news. It's not about clickbait. He says things as they are. So please go check him out. Give him his videos a like. Subscribe if you haven't. I think that will help him grow. Now let's go to Alonso. Now I'll start with you. Who's on the list? Stav, go ahead with Alonso's rating.
Oh, good question. And I've had so long to think about it. 6, because he was still our least effective player. He did some good things. He got forward and he went inverted as well, which allowed the others to go wide. So he gets a 6, but defensively he's still wanting and lacking. And that's a position we need to concentrate on next season to get a backup.
That's a fair enough rating. Yeah. Oh, okay. Over to you, declared Alonso.
What did Stav give?
Alonso.
He wants to know
Alonso? Yeah, what you give again? I missed it.
I gave him 6.
We haven't Alonso. Okay. We're doing Alonso. I skipped him intentionally.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to get to score the same as Stav, so I gotta go one up him more.
You're gonna give him 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna give him 7 because people like to bag him, and you know what?
You need to stop the positive.
He had his hands full with Renato Sanchez, and Sanchez had a really good game for Lille. And so
he did a good enough job, didn't he?
Well, if he had a really good game, for Lille, then Alonso wasn't doing his job properly, was he?
He was. He had the hardest job to do.
Nah, he didn't. They just picked him up in the centre.
Okay, overall, I'm coming back to you, Stav. Declared overall, you rate him. What would you rate him?
7.
And truthfully, he did it. I'm with you on this one, Stav. You lose. I think he did a good enough job.
I don't care. You don't know anything about football. Why would I worry about that? And he's Australian, right? He likes that cross between football and rugby. Right, which is
you're just looking for trouble. I think I'll pit you two together. Nick, how would you rate Alonso?
He would have said 6 normally. Yeah.
I think I gave a good reason.
Go ahead, Nick.
All right, I know we can all joke about Alonso, but he does attack. He's a good attacker, good crosser. He could get us that important goal when we need one. And yesterday you could see Silva's going mad at him all the time because he can't defend. He simply can't defend. So a 6 is very generous, really. I'm giving
there you go.
5.5.
5.5 from you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think 2 7s. I think the average here. I think the average is 6.5.
Yeah. Even the commentators picked up on the fact that Silva kept having a go at him.
Yes, exactly.
On BT Sport.
Even Tuchel did.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's,
there
by
you
the
go
way.
then.
Let me get your views views on the overall performance of the team, so we can round up. We're just streaming now for 2 hours plus, and I think people are starting to leave. I'll start with you, Nick. What do you think with the overall performance of the team during the game?
Yeah, I was very pleased to see us back performing as a team. Really, really improved performance from that Palace game. That Palace game we won, but it was a very bad performance. So I'm glad we improved, and I'm glad. And I said it before the game, Lukaku has to be benched to get his head right, and I'm glad Tuchel's doing that. I back Tuchel with anything he does, and I want to see Lukaku on the bench on Sunday. I hope. Do the same
What?
team for me.
Did I hear
I
that
need
right?
Yeah.
On the
Have
bench,
you been
he said.
converted,
Who?
Nick?
I said Lukaku has to be benched to get the only way he's going to get going is, if he comes off and fights for it. He has to be benched. When he comes on, he knows he has to perform.
Nick has seen the light, I guess.
That might wake him up. That's what I'm saying.
Welcome to the Congress.
Yeah. I backed him from the start. Like no one else backed him like I did, But
No, I know that.
after that Palace game, it was too much. He was standing still like a statue. And for me, that's enough. Like Tuchel saw himself, he benched him. So, yeah. But otherwise, the performance, I was really happy with the front three. Really, Kante, best midfield, defensive midfield player in the world. Silva, best defender in the world by miles. Stop giving me this one rubbish, because Silva is untouchable.
Yeah, I think you make a great point there. He should know that, yeah, he can drop to the bench. How much you paid for him isn't the reason why we should keep playing him to the detriment of the team. Tyron, I love you, but the way you spelled my name, it is killing me. It is hilarious.
Can that be a trend now?
No, he's my brother and one of my best friends in the community, but I know it was a mistake.
No, it's not a mistake. It's a very good.
He must have gotten a view.
Challenge. That's
Is
a
that
very
your
good
nickname
challenge.
in real life?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Taron, you just killed me. I hope staff don't start spelling my name like that. I know, I understand it happens. We use what we call smart devices, but smart devices and that device, after all, they try to help us, complete whatever we're trying to say. But that's by the way. So, coming to you, Declan, what do you think about the game overall? That's fine. I'm not gonna sue one of my best friends and my brother in the community. I love him so much. No, bro, I understand. I just wanted to get a chuckle out of it because he was really funny. So, but that's by the way. Declan, what do you think about the game overall?
Look, I'm glad that we finally played to Lukaku's strengths. Everyone's been saying we have to, and we finally have. Got him on the bench.
That's true.
Yeah, I love me some sarcasm. Honestly, I do. Go ahead, Declan.
Yeah. So, look, just by taking out Lukaku, we played our way again, the way Tuchel wants to play. It was great. Like I said before, it was great to watch. I just liked how we performed. Even if we finished that game 0-0, I still would have said it was a great performance for me, just because everything was starting to click, and that's why I'm starting to feel where I said Lukaku's down in tools. I think some of the players might be against him because it baffles me how it's not just Havertz that played good; the whole team played good. You just started to see a tune out of everyone. And if it is Lukaku that people aren't getting along with or whatnot, or upsetting dressing room, then I'm with Nick. He should be benched till that gets resolved. But like I said, I hated the performances of recent games, so I'm real happy that we picked it up, and I think it's good going into a cup final. So that's what I'm glad about, and I'm happy actually with the performance most of all.
It's
Yeah, I think.
very important. Let me just say, very important to get a good performance, like you said, before the final. That's so important. And
Mhm.
I think Tuchel will do the same. If Kova and Ziyech are fit, it'd be the same team. I can't see
Mhm.
anything else really. I'll be shocked if Lukaku starts again. I don't think he will.
Yeah, yeah, great point right there, Stab. To round it up for us, and again, let me before I get to Stab, Nick Blue, do you think Lukaku will start in the final on Sunday?
I don't think so. I think we go for the with the same team. Maybe Georgina will come in if Kowa is not that fit, but that's the only reason. But otherwise, it's going to be the same team because they play good.
If the truth is, if Kovacic can, if Ruben Loftus-Cheek can play as good as he played
Yeah, he
in
wasn't
that
bad.
game, I'd play him on Sunday rather than Jorginho.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind either, really. Loftus is, he played all right when he came on. He was aggressive. And we need that against Liverpool, someone like him. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind Loftus-Cheek starting either. With
Yeah,
Kante
go ahead.
Ruben, maybe.
Yeah, Declan, do you think Lukaku will start?
No. Just because movement is what gains an advantage. Any team that can break on Liverpool is how they've beaten them in the past. So,
Yeah.
and that's what. And if you see from last year's game when we didn't have Lukaku, Klopp was really worried about pressing us, and he didn't. That's why the games were pretty evenish. He pressed every team hard, but he didn't press us as hard as every other team. So Klopp is actually scared from that three in the back tactic. So I think that's what we're going to go. And Lukaku, if Lukaku doesn't move, the whole thing doesn't work. So I think he starts off the bench, and if we are losing, I can see him coming on.
Yeah, that's the only reason we come on if we're losing. But you can't start it in this game against Liverpool. We need our fastest, attacking players at midfield. We need to be fast against this Liverpool.
Yeah. Okay, to round it up for us, Stav, tell us what you think about the game overall and whether you think Lukaku will start on Sunday and why, or whether he will not start.
Yeah, can't grumble about last night's performance. Lukaku won't start Sunday. If all of them are fit, then I would like to see the same team again, because that would create problems for Van Dijk and the central defenders, because we'd be dragging them out as well, especially when Trent and Robertson or whatever his name is are caught up pitch. Then we can exploit those spaces and drag out the central defenders. That's pretty much it. But just one last comment, right? Tempting fate here. I'll just remind everybody that as bad as Lukaku is doing at the moment, right, he is still our top scorer. So there is.
Yeah, but if he has 10 goals right now, he should have 20.
No, not necessarily. Not when he's been out injured and he's had COVID and he arrived with muscle injury, with a muscle strain, right? So it's not like
that he hasn't scored a league goal since that interview, yeah? A league goal.
Well,
yeah, that's right. He's got
we don't only play in the league, do we? There is games where he can be useful. I'm not saying he should start at the moment. Like I said to you the other night, I think he's not right in the head at the moment mentally, and if he's not mentally right, he's not going to perform. So we need to sort that out first. So maybe if we can get a game where we where we kill the game off quickly, then he can come on and have a 10-15 minute run out till he gets his head straight. But I wouldn't start him.
Yeah, if he didn't start, I'd be surprised because it just seems as if I think who said now? Somebody said that he's become has become a liability because of how much we paid for him. We have to find a way to make it work. That's a possibility that he could start. Lukaku should start in goal. Only position where he fits without taking up room.
The
Oh
movement of
man!
playing goal, does he?
Hey, but
What
you
did
know
you
what?
say?
You know what no one realizes though? He is
Yeah.
on course to be our worst ever signing. At this rate that he's going, he's
Why?
on course to be our worst ever
Why?
signing.
Why?
When you compare to our worst signings, compared with Torres,
but- But why?
Oh my!
Why? Why? Crespo scored 12 goals in his first season, right? And then he scored 12 when he came back. No, 10 when he came back. When Jose managed to talk him to come
he's
back.
still on course to be one of.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but how
And
much did Crespo cost?
It doesn't matter.
Lukaku has broke our records.
That market and the current market are totally different
Yeah,
things,
it's different now.
right?
Yeah.
No, but even
right,
if
Drogba-
you did inflation, Crespo wasn't a world record back then too. We broke our wage record, and we broke our transfer record.
Yeah, well,
so,
that was
so
great.
Lukaku. So when you
I would
compare like
rate this-
Torres being out, Torres was probably one of our worst, like or per money. Lukaku's on that course, and to me,
Here's a
Lukaku.
good one for you on the screen, Declared. Bakayoko is hard to beat, and that's true. He's been one of the
He is.
worst. He's actually, if not, I mean, I think his primary responsibility isn't to score goals. I think he has one goal for Chelsea, didn't he? And I don't know why we signed, what position we signed him for, but
He's a DM.
I think
Yeah,
you could
but
argue that he's one of the
DM.
worst.
Yeah.
No, but he
DM,
actually
yeah.
had some
Can't
good
put
games
a-
before he didn't.
You can't
Lukaku-
compare that
Conte,
with Alto
right?
with Lukaku.
Yeah, under Conte.
Yeah.
Because
Lukaku,
Kante played him and Kante together, and you know it was very. He was meant to be like if you look at the roles now, see what Jorginho does for us. So Kante wasn't moving the ball, and he was embedded with the responsibilities, and he made so many mistakes, and that was shined. And he was only 30 mil, 30 or 40, I'm not sure. Between
And
currencies,
I think we should also consider that he came to us injured, and that wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Lukaku will be fine. Just leave him on the bench and bring him off bench to show some impact consistently before starting him. That's a possible solution. And there's another flop here, Drinkwater. But I think let's make this a discussion for another day so we don't waste it. It will make a great discussion. Let's stick to the topic and round off. Okay, since we talked about Lukaku, question for you, Nick Blue. Let's just answer these questions and round up. Do you think there's a way back for him? Because if you ask me, it's starting to look familiar. It's starting to look similar to the case of Alvaro Morata when things started going down south for him. He started to look out of place, started to look like he doesn't want to be on the pitch. His body language changed. I think you could argue it was the same for Lukaku in the last game he played.
yeah.
So do you think there's a way back?
Yeah, I think there's still a way back for him. I wouldn't put him as bad as Morata. Morata, his mind was on his girlfriend and going back to Spain. He never wanted to stay at Chelsea. If I can believe Lukaku what he said when he came here, he's been a Chelsea lad. He wants to be at Chelsea. If that's true, then there is a way back for him. It's up to him.
What about Lukaku's
Wait a
girlfriend?
minute. It's up to him to show us. And, come off that bench and get a few goals, and start running around. It's up to him now. If he wants to be at Chelsea, he's going to show. If he comes on, it's the same story. Then I'm afraid he has to go.
Nick, what about Lukaku's girlfriend, man?
We have to give it.
Here's the thing, Nick.
Yeah,
I get your point. It's the fact that he said he wants to be at Chelsea, and the truth is, it looks like he meant it. It looked like as if he meant it when he said it.
Yeah,
No. If we have to overlook everything else that happened, because I hate to talk about what happened after he came back from injury. The truth is, he has a serious serious obstacles to overcome. Mentally, it's starting to affect him. His body language shows that, and the fans will always come at him anytime he underperforms.
Yeah,
It is something that you can just sweep under the floor. Go ahead.
It's only the the ones they don't understand football who come against him and calling him stupid names and words. He sees all that, so it doesn't help him. Chelsea, they shouldn't be doing that. All right, criticize him. You're playing bad, but don't call him names like he's a 10-year-old.
Hey, just 1 second, Nick. Tyrone, you can join. Let me send you the link. Send the link to your. I think the link in the chat. If you can't find it, I'll switch to Twitter and send it to your Twitter link. Again, you can join. I can make an exception for you. We've talked for 2 hours, please, plus. But if the guys still have the strength to talk, fine. I'm here for it. Let me see. Find Tyrone here and send them the link if you can't find it in the chat. So, Nick, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just saying, if our fan base stopped calling him stupid names and putting silly comments on Twitter all the time, I can name a lot of them. It will help him. He doesn't need all this rubbish. He's not there. Give the man a chance. So it's best for him. We'll sit on that bench for a few games, and when he comes on, is to show this bunch of clowns we have what he's made of. That's what I want to see.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Can I say something, right? This isn't meant as derogatory, right? Yeah.
No, we're not being here. We're just being objective
No.
We're being...
I'm on about fan base time now, right? I'm not talking about Lukaku. Well, I am, but in relation to fan base, right? Yeah. Me and Nick, right? This is why I say it's not derogatory, right? Me and Nick, right? We go back a long time. Yeah. Forget the transfer fees, right? People lump the transfer fee on Kepa, right? And look at him now, right? Now he was given a chance, that people were supportive with him, and fans were even giving Kepa stick, right? Without taking into account certain things, right? The constant changing of defenders by Lampard, the zonal marking by Lampard, right? I'm going to put the blame where it is. It's Lampard, right? Because his man management is garbage, right? Now, sometime in the future, John Terry will be Chelsea manager, right? And in his man management, right? His man management will be a lot better than Lampard's. John Terry, right, is grounded. He's not big-headed. It's my opinion. Lampard, right, he went in. He didn't take any experience with him. He got rid of Zola, right? And he wanted it to be all about Lampard getting the plaudits. He didn't want anybody, right? He fell out with Petr Cech. I know, right, by body language, things that were said, that he wasn't happy that Petr Cech stepped in to work with the goalkeepers, right? Also, the way he described Silva as my unofficial assistant coach, right? Yeah. So forget that. We've got to stop slating players and basing it on transfer fees, right? If you go back as long as me and Nick go back, right, and say,
Stop. Can I make a point here? A point here? Let's not exhaust a topic.
Max Blue.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go on.
What I was trying to say, this is a topic, remember, we're scheduled to talk about on another day. Tell us if you think there's a way back for Lukaku.
Yeah,
Do you think?
Yeah, of course there is.
Okay,
right?
That's the question.
Of course there is, right? But we need to fans need to stop being childish about the whole issue, right? And it's like Nick said, we've had far worse strikers, right? When we were in debt, we were buying strikers like Chris Sutton for 10 million or whatever we paid for him. We bought Robert Fleck for 4 million, and they all scored 1 or 2 goals, right? And we that sounds like pennies, but we were in massive debt at the time. We were buying players like that, right? People need to get behind the player, irrespective of who they are, right? You know my thoughts on Jorginho, but I've always tried to be diplomatic and give reasons. I don't hate him. I don't dislike him. I just don't think...
So overall, your point is you believe there's still a way back for Lukaku.
Yeah, there's still a way, but I'll tell you why tomorrow. in the transfer thing, because we're obviously going to discuss Lukaku as well.
All right. Okay, definitely. Okay, now let me declare that you still there so that I can quickly reach Tyrone and we can round up. Declare, would you mind me starting with Tyrone? That's up to you because it looks like he's not in the studio.
Yeah, he's got someone staring at him, so he's eagerly waiting.
Okay, Tyrone, I'm coming to you, brother. Now the question is, the situation, like I've explained, is starting to look familiar. It's starting to look familiar a bit like the situation of Alvaro Morata when his body language changed, when he started to look like he doesn't want to be on the pitch. Coming to Lukaku's case, the truth is we're stuck with him whether we like it or not. We're never going to find a buyer that will give us as much money as we want. And again, I have to clear the air. I'm not calling him a bad player. Overall, I just think he's not the profile player that we should have gone for. That is just my argument. Now, Tyrone, the question is there a way back for Romelu Lukaku, or do you think it's over?
It's over. Can you guys hear me okay, just by the way? Is that okay?
Yes, we can hear you crystal clear.
Cool, yeah. I think it's over, personally, for me. I don't know why we spent £100 million on a counter-attacking striker when we're expecting him to change to our game. I'm not quite sure. I think it was poor planning from the board, poor from Tuchel to accept the transfer, poor from Marina, poor from everything. I just think everything was a bad decision to bring Lukaku in because he excelled playing in the Conte system and the Mourinho in the Roberto Martinez system. So I don't understand why we spent £100 million when we like to play in the other team's half. So I don't see a way back. I think Havertz is somebody I want to see every week now, but I think Arvin has a lot to say about Lukaku. I'm sure you know Arvin, Coachila, from the...
Yeah, I know him.
I'm a Bayern fan, but I'll give my perspective on it. But the first point I want to make is that obviously from last season, we could see that obviously Chelsea did win the Champions League, and that was mainly down to a system. But the point is now that you signed Lukaku for 100 million, but that was to get you over the line in the Premier League. For example, games like West Brom, where you missed a lot of chances, but you lost 5-2. Games where, like, for example, Aston Villa, where you wouldn't necessarily have that vocal point up front to score those goals, because you had Tammy Abraham, you had Olivier Giroud, but those players weren't really reliant on. Now, my point to you and to Taron and anyone that thinks Lukaku's finished or over at Chelsea is that shouldn't you play the same that you did before, but instead you can have Lukaku up front and maybe, I saw some glimpses in the Crystal Palace game where Ziyech or Azpilicueta were getting out on that right-hand side. And this is mainly down to Reece James and Chilwell's injury, but do you not think that maybe sometimes they need to flash it across the box to give Lukaku that presence up in the air when he does get into the box and, where he can really excel being that poacher that he was supposed to be? Because Chelsea did that last season, but I can't understand why, for example, I was watching it sometimes at Crystal Palace and I was watching it against Lille the other day, where Ziyech would take ages on the ball instead of whipping the ball across the box. I think Azpilicueta did it once, but Lukaku, if you don't supply him, you don't score. You see the same, I'm Bayern fan, for Lewandowski. If he doesn't get service, he won't score that many times. So I can understand from a world-class striker that you need to give him the service. So do you really think that Lukaku's finished?
I don't think so, but I think it's a difficult problem to solve. And here's why. I think that's a great counter question from you, but here's my answer to you now. Before we signed Lukaku, the chances we were creating weren't chances that needed a point man. Every player on the team can score. We were fluid. We created so many chances. The issue was just we were not putting away the chances we were creating. So here's what I think the mistake is. We signed a player whose profile, whose style of play doesn't really fit the way we play. The truth remains, if to get Lukaku to start firing on all cylinders or to start scoring as much as he did at Inter Milan, we have to change the way we play. We have to become a counter-attacking team, period. Because he plays with spaces. Without spaces, he finds it difficult to operate. Can we still accommodate him? But that will mean changing an identity. And if Tyrone can remember, we recorded a video before, I think it was weeks before we signed him. Yeah. I asked him, how are we going to accommodate this guy? We don't have Lautaro Martinez, and we don't have anybody in the team that plays with like him. We don't have Hakimi. We talked about it to an extent, and we don't have players in the midfield area that can supply the passes as quickly as possible as he would want it to him. Taron Rickos, I said that in that video. So why are we going for him? His argument was if Kovacic can improve, that will probably solve the problem. But the truth remains, he simply doesn't suit the style of play. That is the way we play. To get him firing, we will need some changes in the midfield area. Now, to solve the problem, a lot has to change, and I don't see that happening. And Tuchel himself has said he's not going to change the system to accommodate him. Yeah, Mikhail, you can come in.
Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon.
Yeah, good morning to you.
Big up to everybody. I just had to jump on just to bug Coachila here, the man with the work ethic, man. 3 a.m. Pacific time, he's up doing streams day in, day out. I my respect to you, man. Thank
you, amazing. I appreciate that.
Just to jump in on what we're just talking about, can somebody tell me what Lukaku's offering us that Giroud wasn't?
Nothing.
Not yet.
And nothing. Giroud was he was I was sad to see him. Giroud,
for all of Giroud's limitations, how has Lukaku compensated for them?
The problem is Tuchel didn't want Giroud. You know, that's the problem.
Here's the thing. I think you asked a good question. Giroud is more technically gifted. That's obvious. He has better control of the ball than Lukaku does. Lukaku is just quicker and maybe more powerful. And I'm not sure. I don't know how to measure that to give you a straight up answer to say this guy is more powerful than the other. But the truth is, Giroud is a more complete player than Lukaku is. Lukaku, I don't want to start talking about his ball control or nothing. He's not a bad player overall, but he doesn't just suit our style of play. A lot needs to change. Practically, our identity as Chelsea Football Club needs to change to accommodate Lukaku. Again, that's me.
But it does beg the question, why get rid of Giroud to begin with if we were going to bring in Lukaku to fix whatever Giroud...
I'll answer that. Yeah, I'll answer that. Right? Because Giroud wanted to go. Simple as that. He didn't want it. He didn't want to
stay on the bench.
He didn't have any belief.
You know why Giroud wanted to go? Giroud wanted to go because Tuchel didn't play him or Tammy Abraham. So that profile of player...
Right. That's my point.
Yes,
okay, let's do this. Let's do this because Taron,
same characteristics.
Taron, just 1 second. Taron wants to leave, and I think he's trying to say Alvin wants to say something. Taron, you guys go ahead. Since you want to leave in a minute, go ahead. You have the space.
Yeah, this is my friend Johnny. Just wants to say something.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you guys this: Do you think it's the board's problem for not understanding that Lukaku is really a system player or something like that, or do you think it's Lukaku's fault himself for joining a club for that fee, mainly because of the scenario, wanting to join his dream club again and not even like studying the system, knowing himself if he can play under that?
Why?
DJ just joined us. DJ, go ahead because you haven't spoken, and I will come back to Stav. I know he wanted to say something. DJ, are you still with us?
His Wi-Fi's gone again.
He's probably still at work. Yeah, go ahead. You want to answer that, Taran?
Yeah, I think it's more the fact that, like John said here, it's more the fact that it was all a dream for Lukaku to come back. He wanted to finish off the so-called legacy here. And let's be honest, before a few weeks before the rumours came out, there was no real talk that Lukaku was going to sign for us. It was always Haaland, was Haaland going to join? So it all came too quickly for my liking. It didn't look like there was enough research put into it. And our board do kind of put a lot of sugarcoating on a lot of stuff to make the fans happy. And what are your thoughts on it?
So just one final thought. Obviously, when we're talking about system players, Lukaku, he's one of those players that, for example, when you played at Man United, for example, he was in a counter-attacking system. When you played, just lift the screen up a little bit. When he was at Man United, he played in the counter-attacking system. When he was at Inter, he played in a system where he had possession. Now, Lukaku, for example, Lewandowski as a number 9, they both excel in variable systems. For example, they can play on the counter attack because Lukaku has pace, power, and he can play as a low block because if you whip the ball into the box, he can head it. If you play a through ball to him, he can score. So is it essentially maybe Tuchel's fault that he isn't getting the players like Ziyech, for example, who can whip a ball in to to excel at that crossing and providing service for Lukaku, or is it just mainly Tuchel's fault?
Let me counter you with this, Alvin. Lukaku started well. I'm sure you're well aware of that. He started well, right? So things changed. He got injured and then he came back. He wasn't the same again. And then what happened, and I don't like to talk about that because it's in the past now. So something else is really wrong. And I'm not sure it's the system. He played really well. He started really well in his second stint at Chelsea. He was everywhere. He was putting in the shift. He was, making good runs. But that's not the case anymore. So I wouldn't really blame the players or the system or the coach. I think he has to start getting involved more in the play. And then even when he doesn't score goals, we can take that. Okay, yeah, he played well. It's just that he didn't score a goal. But the problem is he's not even getting involved in the play. He's always waiting for the ball, to be passed to him. And there's something else I need to explain to you, to say now. You talked about Lewandowski.
Yeah.
Lewandowski, if he's in the box and the ball is crossed, whether on the carpet or in the air, he's not static. He adjusts his position to be better positions to fight. That is to be able to look for the back of the net. But Lukaku, once the ball is in motion, he doesn't move an inch. He hardly moves. He waits for the ball to come to him. But you and I know good strikers, what they do is even if the ball is already in motion, if you see that a defender is ahead of you and might stop the ball from getting to you, you adjust your position to get ahead of the defender and then do something with the ball. That's one of his biggest problems. He always wants it on his feet, and that's not right. We have other players. We have opposition players who are always making a move to stop the crosses, whether on the carpet or in the air, to get to you. So if you do not adjust your position, in most cases, you will not get the ball. So the problem is bigger than that.
So you were coming back to me.
Coachella?
Yeah, you were coming back
to
to
get
me.
in here because I've been echoing the point that you just said. Comparing to Lewandowski is kind of stupid at this point, but Lukaku started well with the system that you guys are talking about. None of this. He needs a new midfield and all that, right? He got injured, right? He came back. He actually scored Villa and Brighton. As soon as that interview hit, is when he hasn't scored since in the EPL, right? He's only scored against lower teams. He's changed completely. In that interview, he addressed that he had a problem with the system. So he scored some goals, but he didn't like the way Tuchel was playing. He didn't like maybe how he's treated, and he didn't like how everyone turned on him. So he is now, for me, downing tools, where everyone's trying to find his solution, right? So all of a sudden, everyone forgot about the games, the system that we did play, and he did play well. Everyone forgot about that. Everyone forgot about the first 7 games, right? Everyone forgot. That deja vu.
Nobody's talking about how. But I know the argument that staff will come in with now is that we had a specialized wing players. We had Ben Chilwell and we had Reece James, and that is true because that's a system that's heavily reliant on wing play. Yeah, go ahead. We didn't have him against Villa and Brighton when he came back from injury. We didn't have him against the Champions League. Yeah, so he actually knew about the system. He adjusted the system. Tuchel said his attacking system has never changed, right? So even though even though he adjusted it, it never changed for him. His role has always been the same, right? There's the only explanation. The only explanation for 7 touches, right, is not wanting the ball. There's none of this. He must get the ball. We need a new midfielder. I never seen so many excuses for this guy, right? We never gave these excuses for any other player, but this guy exercised player power when he did that interview, and he's also exercising his player power by downing tools, because for some reason, it looks like Tuchel's not even backing him, and Tuchel was forced to play him because I think
he was forced to find a solution, because that's my only explanation for not dropping him for 10 bad games, right? So now he's dropped for the first time. I think the point's been made. I think he wants out. When he wants out, right? I wrote it in chat before. When he won, at Man United, he could have. When he was down, he could have did whatever he did at Inter and Man United. He could have got fit. He could have worked on his touch, right? And he could have fight for his spot at Man United too. But he didn't want to do that. So once he goes, he talks so highly about Inter Milan, right? He's saving grace. This is a team he sounded like he wanted to retire at. And as soon as some offers come in, he goes and asks for a pay rise. And because they don't give him a new contract, he leaves straight away. So I feel this guy has been to 7 clubs. He has proven with the words he says that he's a mercenary. And he's downing tools because he's off in the summer. I think he doesn't like where he was, and he's not going to fight.
Yeah,
he's not going to come back. He doesn't want to be here, and he's gone. Because that's the only explanation.
The truth is, it sounds easy to say it's off in the summer, but it's practically impossible.
I know it's not easy,
we have to,
but like a Diego Costa scenario is what we might have.
I think it's difficult this time, but I'll let Stav round off. If you don't mind, DJ, can you come in and let us know what you think about the conversation, and then we'll switch to Stav. Maybe we'll call it there because it's almost 3 hours now, and I got to get the boys ready for school in about 15 minutes. DJ, are you still there? His internet again, I'm guessing. So, Stav, you go ahead, round up for us. Let us know what you think, your opinion. I think we should talk about this Lukaku thing another day.
No. I will talk about him tomorrow, right? But there's a couple of issues I want to address here, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't want to go to Man United. He was ready to sign for Chelsea. He even had a house ready to be bought, right? And Raiola dragged him. Dragged him to Man U.
Declared, an agent doesn't have the choice.
You've had your say. We're going to just end up arguing.
Yeah, but
right. No, you had your say.
Okay, Declan, just let him talk. I think we'll address this in another day. But go ahead, Stav.
Couldn't help myself on that comment.
Right. No, whatever declared. Right. Shouldn't you be asleep or something? Right. That's why he departed from Raiola. Right. Whether declared likes it or not. Right, that's the fact. All right, whatever.
Just said that he was with Pogba at the time, and he partied with Pogba. He actually celebrated his Man United signing with Pogba.
What do you want him to do?
There's video footage of
you want him to go to a club and complain, I don't want to be here? Of course he celebrated his partnership with Pogba because he went to another club. So when Joe Cole went to Liverpool and said,
I'm
finally a big club. When he's a Chelsea fan as a kid, Joe Cole used to go to games, was a ball boy. He went to Liverpool, right, and he played up Liverpool. That's what players do when they go to another club, right? Simple as that.
No.
All right,
You said Mina Raiola dragged him. Lukaku had a choice. Man United and Chelsea, and he chose Man United because they gave more money, right? And he chose to go with
what does that mean?
At the time,
what does that mean? What does that mean? Means Raiola gets a bigger payoff, right? That's what that means.
But if Lukaku wanted to come to Chelsea, he could have said, "I'm going Chelsea regardless." If Chelsea come in, I'm going. He has that power. He signs the papers.
So why is Haaland?
Mina Raiola works for him.
Why is Haaland still at Dortmund, right? Why? Because Raiola will try and tout for the biggest.
Because Haaland gets more money this season.
Yeah, because he gets more money. Because
Haaland gets what he wants.
Yeah,
not Mina Raiola.
Yeah, he wants to leave Dortmund. We know that, right? No, so Raiola won't get. So why did Raiola?
More money.
Why did Raiola?
The transfer fee was higher.
Why did Raiola, right, demand 40 million euros, right, as his cut and a contract to be on the Chelsea payroll for the length of the contract? Because Raiola has too much.
It was their way of saying we don't want to come to Chelsea. If you want us there, then we our pensions. That's pretty much what it was.
Mikhail, since you're in here, can you please let us your thought and on the discussion, and maybe you can round up for us. I think this Lukaku and how he's traveled and everything, I think it's something we need to bring on the Clad and staff to slug it out. Maybe on another Blue Morning show.
I'm not gonna go on and slug it out with anybody, right?
Okay, yeah, because this was supposed to be a 1 hour show, and it's approaching 3 hours. Okay, go ahead, Mikhail.
One other thing I want to say, right? I can't be doing with this nonsense that the board is forcing Tuchel to play him, right? I can't be doing with the comments that was it by Taryn.
No, but everybody has to express their opinion. We know it's not possible. You can't force him to play. You can only ask, and if he wants, he plays the player. If he doesn't want, he's not going to play the player.
Tuchel was going to leave PSG anyway, and they fell out because Leonardo was telling him what to do. Right, so I'm not having none of that nonsense.
Yes, that makes sense. Your argument makes sense, and they have the right to say what they want. But then we'll look at it and know what's the truth and what's not the truth. And this Lukaku, I agree with Josh Viola. Lukaku saga is too long to discuss in this stream. So go ahead, Mikhail. Please let us know.
He doesn't like Lukaku, does he?
The thing is, I was trying to earlier make. Sorry, I had to drop off there. Take a call. What I was trying to make the connection is that we sat Giroud on the bench for about a season before he left. We didn't hear a squeak out of him. This guy just gets signed for 97 million, and within 5 months is giving interviews about wanting to go back to Inter Milan.
No, he didn't.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Let me say my piece, and then Stav, please. What I'm trying to say is, Giroud had a lot more reason to say sideways things about other clubs than Lukaku had. So it was bad decisioning on Lukaku's part to say something that could be misinterpreted, perhaps, or be made more of. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. That's not the point. The point I'm trying to make is that Giroud in his time set the precedent that when a striker is given minutes, he has to show impact. He has to show he's worth those minutes to be given those opportunities. And I think he tried his best to do that. Now I think the onus is on Lukaku to be put through that same, or for Thomas Tuchel to put Lukaku through that same challenge, that if I'm going to give you minutes, you better show me why I'm giving you minutes every time I put you up. And I think that's the only way forward to get through this, to navigate this minefield that we find ourselves in terms of Lukaku signing, his valuation, his body language, and his performance on the pitch. I think it has to be transactional. If he shows he's worth the minutes, let's give him minutes. And if he shows he's maybe his mind's not in it, let's put him on the bench. Let's give other people chances to show if they are willing to step it up.
And that's what Tuchel done last night. I forgot your name. Yeah, and that's what he's going to do. He'll be on the bench on Sunday as well. You mark my words.
He needs to earn his game time from now on.
Lukaku deserves to have his chance, when it comes on. He doesn't deserve all the abuse he's getting. And, that's why he's not there mentally.
Listen,
he has to show us
Tammy
when he
Abraham
comes
was
on.
getting abused too at one point, and the problem was that Tammy was being posturing himself as being the number one striker. If you put Tammy as a number two striker, I don't have any problem with him. I don't think anybody else had any problem with him. Now the problem with Lukaku is the same. He's posturing and obviously was brought in to be the number one striker. But then you have to back it up, and if you don't, then you're going to hear about it, right? So that's the conversation now. Let's change gears.
So everyone has
Let's
to
put him on the bench.
Stop
and let him earn his game.
And wait when you see if he shows us he can make it. It's up to him to show the fans now.
So, Mikhail, overall, I think this. Overall, you think this is a way back for him?
Oh, for sure. I think it's and like Tuchel alluded to it in his interview, is like he's our player. We have to protect him. So, regardless of the nonsense that has occurred in the past month or whatever it's been, 2 months, 3 months, we have to find a way to maximize the valuation of our player and our and obviously out of him on the pitch. So the easiest path is just to slate him. But okay, there's a time for that, and I think we've all gotten that out of our system. Now we need to take a back seat in terms of letting the guy prove, like let's wipe the slate clean, let him show from this point onwards why he deserves game time, and I think that's the only way forward.
Yeah, we need
100%
to support the guy. Go ahead, Nick. You were saying something.
I was just agreeing. That's what we have to do, and everyone has to see that. Now, let's see what they, if they stop abusing him and calling him stupid names, and so it's better for him to be on the bench, and when he does come on, to show us what he can do. Show us he wants to play for Chelsea, like he said. If you don't score, have a good game. Run your socks off like everyone else.
100%. That's why Timo Werner has a song, because it doesn't matter if he scores a goal all season long, but he runs all season long. And the fans respond to that.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's why Tuchel, he knows what he's doing. It's not the board, telling him anything. That's all rubbish. Tuchel does, he's got the backing from Abramovich to do what he wants with Lukaku. Abramovich already said that. He's backing Tuchel.
Yeah.
So Tuchel, I'll back Tuchel, like he did last night, bench him. If he wants to use him, he will use him. So, everyone has to calm down.
I still think there was pressure.
I think great. Go ahead. You were saying something, Declan, but I'm going to let you talk. The truth is, staff, have we paid attention? You will see, Mikhail, you're all saying the same thing. Mikhail is not talking about slandering the player. He's talking about the way forward, and which is right. Lukaku has to earn his place.
Did I not say that last night? Did I not say that last night? Did I defend Lukaku last night?
No, I know you're always defending him, but you're truthful also. You were one of the persons that said, I think he needs to drop to the bench. You did say that also. He needs to be benched because he's not been great. And you talked about look, one thing I like about you, Stav, you always fight, but you're objective. I like that from you. So now, but you misunderstood what Mikel was saying because he hasn't started. But now Mikel makes a very, very.
I understand what he's saying. I understand what he's saying. I agree with what he's saying. Right. My issue is with people who are coming out with comments like earlier on, Marina this, Marina that. Do people actually think Marina sits at a desk, looks at some magazines and thinks, oh, I'll sign him? No. Right? Lukaku was Roman's choice. He even involved his son in the transfer. Right? Let's get that straight. That's public knowledge. Declared can deny all he wants. Right? It was Roman's choice. Just like Shevchenko was Roman's choice. Just like Torres was Roman's choice because he wanted marquee strikers. Right? Whether Lukaku's the right one or not is irrelevant. But this nonsense that Tuchel has been forced into anything is nonsense.
I think
and I'm well aware.
That doesn't exist.
That's all
rubbish, yeah.
I think Tuchel is.
I'm well aware, right, why Giroud left. That wasn't a criticism of Giroud, right? I'd rather he stayed. Yeah, I'd rather he stayed. I'd rather we kept Broja and not bothered with Lukaku, right? But the situation
you did say that to me even before we signed him, and I did. Who was it? I think was it Mikhail? Then I talked about Broja.
Yeah, a lot of people wanted to
Max from Button Ballers. We talked about why not bringing Broja and spend that much money on a striker, but that's by the way it has happened. Go ahead, Stav.
That was Tuchel's choice to send Broja out. When Broja returned from Vitesse, right, and it was made public, he was told sign an extension, stay, and we're going to add you to the squad, right? Then we had the pre-season, and Tuchel chose to send him on.
I think the thing is, we have to take the sequence of events in a timeline, right? So everybody had a card to play. Tuchel's card was, am I going to be satisfied with keeping Broja as my main option for strike for the coming season?
But he wouldn't have been.
Listen. Just hear me out.
Hold on, Star. Can we hear him?
Yeah, but if he'd have said to Giroud, right, you will get chances now. We want you to stay. We believe you can lead us to success, right? And talk Giroud to stay. Giroud, Broja, and Werner, right? would have been fine by me. Okay?
I think the
Go
card
ahead,
that
go
Tuchel
ahead,
overplayed perhaps
Stav,
was.
Mikhail.
No, what I'm trying to say is I'm hypothesizing or trying to make sense of it in my mind. I think Tuchel wanted to see if the club can get him a better striker, a more established striker. Now everybody's eye was on Haaland back then. Lukaku was tearing up the Serie A, and from a sponsorships perspective, he was the next best alternative, and to show support for the manager, the owner went in and got him. It is what it is. That water under the bridge, we've crossed that. Now we have to make a way forward out of the situation we find ourselves. If I had a time machine, I'd go back and just keep Giroud, because to me, Lukaku doesn't offer anything Giroud didn't offer. That's my opinion, right? Tuchel obviously. Tuchel may disagree with it. Maybe Tuchel finds something in Lukaku that he didn't see in Giroud, and hence Lukaku gets to start more often. But to me, as a follower of Chelsea club, Giroud would have done the job for me. We didn't have to spend $97 million bringing in somebody who's very similar to what Giroud does. So,
and the truth again, Mikhail, if I can come in there, no matter how we see it, I think Tuchel must have said yes before the club went ahead with it.
Yeah. So everybody's kind of crossed that bridge now, and everybody has to live with the cards, the way they played their hand. And that's why Tuchel is playing along with it, because Tuchel's part of the reason Lukaku's there too. Tuchel must have said yes to Broja leaving. Tuchel must have said yes to Lukaku being brought in if asked, when asked. So at this point, it's in everybody's advantage and benefit to make the best of this situation. And so far, it's just gone off the rails only because of one person, Lukaku himself. Nobody else.
We have a history of making signings. Board signings, because we look at it. The club has always looked at buying players and building. They're the ones that build the team, and managers come manage. That's been the relationship. That's why there's been so many of these bad signings and different styles of signings. We give the manager what he kind of wants when he first comes in, but other than that, see you later. And the thing with Broja, he wanted game time. So just like other young players,
I think
they don't want to sit on the bench.
That's man management, right? That's where man management comes in. That when your kids out of the academy are ready for the big stage, that's when you have to put your arm around their shoulder and actually woo them, right? You have to kind of get them into the first team, get them involved with the training sessions, kind of make them feel like they're getting in there, they have a place in there.
You got to understand the history. We just like you want a result, you want success. We don't have 3-4 seasons to build. Like as I want to manage to build a team, right? You put your arm around him, just like you said. That striker can lose you your job. If you have to put all your faith in Broja, right? If that's what you're saying, if you're going to put your whole season faith on Broja, he hasn't started much, and he's going to be your main striker. That's a big ask, because that can lose your job.
Hence my comment on why get rid of Giroud at all. Like they should have kept Giroud. I think perhaps at the same.
Like I said, for me, it's out of Tuchel's hands. I wanted Giroud, and I don't know if Coach remembers this too. I wanted Havertz as the main striker. I didn't even want Lukaku.
I wouldn't even go that far. It's not that I didn't want Giroud. I wanted Giroud. Giroud was good enough to be the occasional striker. He wasn't the number one guy. We were giving Werner starts. We were giving Havertz starts. We were giving Tammy
wasn't even playing. So the problem was for
Tammy is a different problem. Tammy is a different conversation. Let's park Tammy. But Tammy was not like Lukaku. I think Giroud and Lukaku have a lot more in common than Tammy and Lukaku.
No, but that's the whole issue. It's obviously right. It's obvious that Tuchel didn't need that profile of player. And if you look at his past teams as well, he never goes after that characteristics of a striker. You know, he had Cavani and that he didn't play, right? He didn't play like that at Dortmund.
100%.
He's never liked these characteristics of a striker. That's why Lukaku didn't make sense for me when that happened.
I think Tuchel realized he's not going to get his profile striker at Chelsea, so he just went along with whatever they could find him. And it's not a good explanation, but it's probably the way I look. Tuchel's reacting like you can tell that he thinks something else, but you can also tell that he stays quiet. That tells you that he was probably complicit in the decisioning. Hence, he has to put up with whatever the consequences are.
He actually said that.
Yeah, and I think with that, Yeah, I think we've all made some great points, and it's been a great show. And that gives me an idea, Stav. Maybe we have to move what we scheduled for tomorrow to another day, and the discussion tomorrow for Blue Monday should be: do we really need a striker? I think that will make a good conversation. The Kepa versus Mendy.
Leave it as it is. Right, we can still touch on the striker situation as part of
we don't want it to go as long as this one is going today. It's almost 3 hours and a few minutes.
Look, give me, Coachila, give me a call when you get back from the school. Just a quick one.
I think we'll talk about it. We have to find. I think we'll talk. One of the discussions should be one of the Blue Money discussions should be if we really do need a striker, and the Kepa versus Mendy thing, I think we can move to another Blue Morning episode. And I appreciate you guys. Mikhail, I know you're a very busy man. I appreciate you finding time to join. That means a lot to me. DJ South 17, I understand your situation and also your work. Declared, it's been awesome having you. And I know I owe you a beer for your great input on the last stream you were here for. And sorry, I still have it in my fridge. Whenever I get to see you, I'll give it to you. And Nick Blue, I think you've become part of the family here, and I appreciate your input, your mature input. You know the club's history very well, the structure and everything. And whenever you talk, I like to listen. I start the same thing with you, your experience and everything. But the truth is, you're still my enemy. We like to fight, but it's a fight I enjoy to be in. So with that, I think we call it a day. It's been a brilliant show. I appreciate that. And we earned about 20 subscribers today. And that's great. We're approaching 1,000 subscribers, and I hope to reach that milestone by the end of the month. So thank you all. And for everybody in the chat, Just Viola stayed for almost, I think, 3 hours, as I know she's still listening. A DJ here, everybody, I appreciate you all. See you guys tomorrow for another Blue Morning show. And thank you, and God bless you all. Bye.
Bye. Big up, chaps.